All right, bear with me. I got to get my other stream up, and we should be. It's coming. Notion that all black men for Trump is something we're going to be talking about. Feel free to type rerun in the comments for those who watch the show on the reruns. Give me a minute. Almost done here. All black men should vote for Trump. That's what we're going to be talking about. Uh, that's coming from a well-known source. So, we're going to tackle um, why. Why we're going to tackle why that's coming up and how that might actually, I suppose, the claim is how it would benefit the African American community. Why isn't the hashtags working on this damn thing? Sometimes you want shit to work and sometimes it doesn't. Let me know. Can you guys hear me? How are you, Tim? What say you? Ducidio, let me know if you can hear my audio. Because I'm getting the last stream going, but we should be up momentarily. Let me know on YouTube if you guys can hear me. And while you're doing that, yeah, we can hear. Okay, the war is over, brother. The war. How do you know the war is over with? Based on what? The war, and we're gonna talk about that. I don't agree with you that the war is over with, and I'm gonna give you some clips on that. We're gonna be talking about that in a minute, but the war is not over with. Um, don't you believe that? What did they say in the old Tom and Jerry movies? The White Mouse will not explode. Don't you believe it? Somebody I don't know if we lost the war, but at the same time, I'll say I can't say for certain we won it either. I'm sure President Trump will be touting that we won. I'm sure President Trump is going to come back somehow, some way, and indicate we won. But I'm with you. I'm not sure we. I'm not. I just say I'm not sure we lost or won. I don't. I mean, I'm not even sure the information we get is accurate. I'll leave it at that. Anyhow, what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We're now live across all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Substack, YouTube, and Clapper. So, good evening, folks, and welcome to the show. Just real quick, I want to talk. We got a couple topics I think are worthy of discussing today. What some might suggest as a controversial phrase, certainly in the African American community. My African Americans, you Trump say that. Are you for him, says Stan. We'll talk about it. But I want to give you a clip of where this is coming from. Black men for Trump. This was a recommendation from a well-known talking head on your TV channels, on the internet, et cetera, suggesting that listen, at the end of the day, the belief is that the Democrat Party is not doing a damn thing to earn. They're not doing anything to earn the black vote. So perhaps the African American voting community should consider other options. If the Democrats are not doing anything to earn the black vote, this is where this is coming from. Perhaps they should pursue other options. I want you to hear a clip that I think is worthy of discussion.
I wish for one election that every black person would vote Republican. What? How can you say that? I said, it's simple. Since 1964, the black folks, we have been giving our vote to the Democratic Party at an exorbitant rate. Therefore, they know they got our vote, and they don't have to cater to us as much as we need them to. The Republicans know they'll never get our vote, so they don't give a damn about us. And as a result, we're the only community in America devoid of representation, which is why we're considered disenfranchised.
So what about what Stephen A. Smith is saying there? What about what Stephen A. Smith is saying? I see Stevie D says, I love Stephen A. Is there any validity in your opinion to what he is saying is that by automatically giving your vote to the Democrat, earn it, and the Republican Party, knowing they're not going to get your vote, is going to make no effort to earn it at all. So perhaps if the Democrats, or maybe not Democrats, but if the African American community would vote Republican, it would lead to both parties going forward trying to earn your vote. Yes or no in the comments, just briefly. Do you agree with the likes of Stephen A. Smith of ESPN fame? Yes or no? Do you agree with what Stephen A. is saying? That if you want your vote to count, if you want to not be disenfranchised, if you want politicians to work hard to earn your vote, then damn it, let them know your vote is not guaranteed. If you vote one way all the time, they just assume they have that vote. You hear Stephen A. Smith is saying that. So we're going to end up talking about that from a host of angles. Hopefully we can get folks on the left and right on the program. So I do want to talk about it. And I've talked to Black MAGA, Black Republicans that have said this before Stephen A. Smith said it. So I have heard this before. But in addition to that, I want to talk about what actually is going on overseas that I think is worthy of discussing as well. And I'm looking for a clip that I want you to hear. Now, this is coming from, and you take it with a grain of salt, it's a media personality. It's Chris Cuomo, formerly of CNN fame. Chris Cuomo is now on News Nation. I'll be candid with you. I'm a big Chris Cuomo fan, just like I'm a big Bill O'Reilly fan. I mean, there's certain media personalities I like listening to. Cuomo leans left, O'Reilly obviously leans right. But he made a statement a couple hours ago that looks like it's coming true, but I do want to discuss it in more detail.
That I can confirm that there are negotiations on right now that are different than what we've seen up to this point. And the next 48 hours is really important. Why? The good news is that this is a uranium-based deal, okay? That's the good news. Up until this point, the regime, bunch of terrorist bastards that they are, has not been open to even discussing this. Why? Because they like the leverage they had in the Strait. They want the smoke in this situation, okay? Not because they can beat the United States militarily, they know that, but that is not their bar for success. This is about their survival and them being seen as provocateurs, and America has made that better for them with all of this. But now, in the next 48 hours, the downside would be this. One, are they just playing Trump? Second, because they got him to back off on Operation Freedom, which was the right move.
And we'll talk about Operation Freedom. I'm not going to go too deep down the road with Chris Cuomo, but you hear him say that he's gotten confirmation that there is a deal being made with Iran. There is a deal in the works with Iran. So that would be a good thing if Chris Cuomo is accurate. But in addition to him, I also want you to hear another clip, if I can cue this up before we start taking calls, that I believe is important. Let me make sure I get it.
Those months of war with Iran have barely slowed Tehran's path to a nuclear bomb. Russia and Ukraine announced separate, non-concurrent...
Okay, I obviously don't have this queued up where I want it to be queued up, but I do want to play this for you because I think it's kind of important. Now, I know how you folks feel about media outlets. I try not to get too far down the road of media outlets because a lot of folks don't trust the media left or right. So I generally just give you clips of what's happening and stick, kind of stay away from the opinion pieces. But this one is worthy of noting. Now, this is coming from Reuters. Take it with a grain of salt if you trust Reuters or not. But this is a real quick news clip coming from Reuters that is worth discussing.
The Met Gala theme of costume art has stars taking some fashion risks.
I'm just doing terrible with this. I still don't have it queued up to where I want it to be queued up to. All right, let me try it again.
We begin with a Reuters exclusive. US intelligence agencies say Iran is still about a year away from being able to build a nuclear weapon, a timeline unchanged by the war with the US and Israel. Sources tell Reuters damage was done to Iran's nuclear capabilities by US attacks last summer, but the last 2 months of fighting has done little to change the situation. White House reporter Graham Slattery says that's raising questions about the effectiveness of the most recent campaign.
And I'm not going to go into the opinion, but you hear what they say. They're saying that we have done very little to roll back the caps. Thank you very much. You hear them state that despite almost, what are we going into month 3 now? Literally month 3 at a cost of $1 to $2 billion per day, that we have done very little to roll back their nuclear program, indicating that they're likely only still about a year away from the nuclear bomb. I think the problem is, as long as they have that uranium at 60% enrichment, it can be used soon to become weapons grade. Unless we can get in there and get our hands on that uranium itself, they're always going to be a threat to developing their nuclear program again. I think about things being obliterated may not have been accurate in the least. Evil B by Boo, I do see you said I was buffering on both platforms. Make sure you put, yeah, I didn't have it on Wi-Fi. So thank you, Evil B by Boo. We're on Wi-Fi now. Hopefully that clears that up. But yeah, so it's making it clear that if they're only a year away from obtaining a nuclear bomb, despite Trump saying they were obliterated and Trump said they were set back decades and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's, I see Jerry says, wait, Trump lied. Yeah, it does look like if what Reuters is saying is true, they were not giving accurate information, suggesting that everything, the obliterated phrase in itself is false. Now, here is President Trump a while ago, because remember, if they're working on a deal right now between America and Iran, this goes completely counter to President Trump featured here.
Two very simple words, a very simple, unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it, I give up, no more. Then we go blow up all the, all the nuclear stuff that's all over the place now. No, they had bad intentions. For 40 years, they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And now they're not bullies anymore, but we'll see what happens. Look, nothing's finished until it's finished. War is very complex. A lot of bad things can happen.
Now, he said that several weeks ago, but obviously that has not aged well, suggesting that they're not bullies anymore. They just tried to attack ships going through the Strait of Hormuz like yesterday. President Trump's administration had to cancel this alleged Project Freedom, where the U.S. Navy was going to escort ships through the strait. The U.S. Navy tried to do that, and not only did Iran shoot at the ships we were trying to escort, they actually tried to attack the U.S. fucking Navy. So what Trump is saying here did not age well at all. Despite the whole claim that Iran's military has been dilapidated and all that, they sure are resilient and continue to fight back. They sure are continuing to fight back. So any claims that they're down and out does not seem to be measuring up. They still are fighting back. So anyhow, we're going to go on to the program. Blacks voting Republicans is certainly something I want to hear from you folks about. Do you agree with Stephen A. that Black Americans would be better off, more represented, if they consider voting Republican, suggesting that the Democrats do not earn their votes? Republicans have kind of given up on their votes since all the votes go Democrat anyway, and therefore the Democrats not having earned their votes, once they get the votes, they don't do shit for Black people. The Republicans, assuming they're never going to get the votes, obviously get in office and once again do nothing for Blacks. So according to Stephen A., nobody is doing anything to represent the Black community. Is he accurate? So looking in the comments right off the bat, and tap the screen, get the likes on up to 10,000 if you will. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. You know how the program goes and shall always go. MAGA friendly in the first. Liberals are welcome as well. Comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly. They just want to. They just want to be at his table so bad, says Sexy Red. His table in what way? They want to be at Stephen A. Smith's table. Is that what you're saying? I don't quite get that. But the notion that the Democrats are not earning the black vote is what we're talking about. Tap the screen. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, I need you to smash that like button. Hopefully, we're not buffering anymore. And I see in the comments, Tanaj says, Tim, you calling yourself a Bill O'Reilly fan is exactly why Gangsta Grandma calls you out like she does. And you deserve it, bro. You deserve to be called out. Well, let me be clear. I've been a Bill O'Reilly fan since the late 90s. I've been watching him on Fox since the late 90s. I still watch him now that he's on News Nation and I watch him on the internet. But my view of him is a little bit different because he went from leaning right and sometimes calling out folks on the right, which is what Fox News used to be, a network that leaned right, but sometimes occasionally would point out a few misdeeds on the right, to just being a pro-Trump outlet. And that's kind of what Bill O'Reilly has done. Now he's just a pro-Trump person, and that's kind of made me lose a little bit of, favoritism or, respect for the guy. It's because he used to call out stuff when Republicans got out of hand and things like that. Now he's just, whatever Trump says is okay. And that's kind of made me change on it. But anyway, I don't, look, why would you say that? What is it? Is it wrong to be Democrat and like some Republican pundits? Let me know. Looking in the comments, he is a sports commentator, not a journalist or a politician. Well, Stephen A. Smith is a sports analyst, but I believe Brian Kilmeade of Fox News, he used to also be a sports analyst. I mean, sometimes you can kind of change. You can change a bit. I'm going to go to the box. But right before I do, because we do have some new viewers in here, I just want for folks to know what I'm talking about, to play this clip again briefly, if I can find it. Just briefly, I want you to hear this again, because folks don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Y'all go ahead and roll. I wish for one election that every black person would vote Republican. What? How can you say that? I said, it's simple. Since 1964, the black folks, we have been giving our vote to the Democratic Party at an exorbitant rate. Therefore, they know they got our vote, and they don't have to cater to us as much as we need them to. The Republicans know they'll never get our vote, so they don't give a damn about us. And as a result, we're the only community in America devoid of representation, which is why we're considered disenfranchised.
Does he have a point? Let me go straight to the box. We'll make it happen with Sexy Red. Good evening, Sexy. Does he have a point? Maybe blacks should consider the Republican Party. What say you?
I almost choked him off blood. I shit you not. That motherfucker, Rowdy Raccoon right there, he's a yes master. What are you talking about?
No, well, what he is talking about is the Democrats know that the black vote is coming no matter what. Therefore, they're not
Let
earning
me tell you something. I'm so sick of you motherfuckers saying that shit. Do you know what? The Democrats have done more for us than any other one. That's a white man right there, just like you. He been drinking a lot of bleach, just like you, puppet.
Well,
What the hell? He likes that uncooked meat like you, honey. I mean, I can't understand how black mofos look at that shit and say, ew, I love that uncooked chicken. Like, damn, you guys are desperate. You guys are desperate for that white love, isn't it?
This has nothing. Okay.
Yes. That's what you guys do. You guys think the white man loves your ass so dang much
Okay.
that they're going to bow down to you, yes, master, and give you all this PPE shit and whatever else you guys thinking this white man's going to do. All he's going to do is put us back in chains. That's what he fucking wants us to do.
Let me make something clear to you. First of all, this has nothing to do with the white man, so I don't know why you're saying
It really do. Oh, my God, Ken. Yes, it does. Let me tell you something. Yeah, that's how dumb. This is how dumb you mofos. See, that's why he says he likes the uneducated. Half this damn population is dumb. Yeah, this is about the white tea man. Who the hell you think is in office right now? Who? The Triple K, the what? The Proud Boys, and everything else. This is about the white man. He wants us to go back into slavery. You know, back in the slavery days, they had some Negroes that didn't even want to leave the plantation, and they had to have. And you know, you feel what I'm saying? Some of them didn't want to leave the damn plantation.
Hold on. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. First,
I don't want to leave the plantation. I like it up
this
there.
has nothing to do with plantations and slavery. Can you close your racial? Can you close your racial lens for a minute?
No, you numbnut. Because let me tell you something. It is about
Bullshit.
that. Because that's why us black folks, we went to the D side. We went to the blue side. We say yes, there was more for us. You know, we can't just go up to the Democrats and say do something just for the black people. No.
How do you respond? How do you respond to what he said in regards to the Democrats are doing nothing to earn your vote?
What the hell are you talking about? He sure did earn my vote. He did the CHIPS Act, what is that when they build up everything? Manufacturing. He did that. What did he do? Obama did Obamacare, ACA. That helped a lot of black folks. Thank you. And then they gave us a lot of the student loans. My daughter's got student loan benefit. And they black as hell too. So miss me with your bullshit. What has the white man did for us? Nothing. Just give us fucking headaches. Want to put us back in damn chains.
But what about what he said? Hold on.
No. The white man wants to.
You've given your spiel. Let me respond to it now. Let me respond to it. What about what he said being because you don't vote Republican, they don't have a reason to do anything for you?
The Republican Party, like MLK said, he's noticed it was going white party. Yeah. That's when the switch began. I don't understand how you mofos want to sit up here and try to justify us trying to go and put us as on the plantation. Yo Negroes want to stay on the plantation, go kiss ass to the white man. Not my black ass. I am staying blue. Okay?
No,
I like my human rights. I like me. I sure do. I do not want to go back to Jim Crow. I don't want to get back in chains. I've never been in chains. Well, yes, I've been in chains, but the good way. Not that kind of way, but you know what I'm talking about. But that, yeah. No, thank you.
So you don't
I don't want the white man touching me.
So,
no, thank you.
So this is nothing about white men. So you don't believe. No, it's not.
Listen. Get the dick out your mouth on God. Let me tell you something again. This is about the white G-man. The Republican Party is not about the black people. It's not about the brown people. Name me one, say only one or two people that's black in his, not even one, not just one, a senator. Tell me where it is. It's not diverse, it's mayonnaise. You come to the bottom.
Would you vote for Gavin Newsom? Would you vote for Gavin Newsom? All you're doing is rambling. Would you vote for Gavin Newsom?
Well, yeah. That's my governor.
He's a white man.
He's a fine-ass white man.
So you okay with it? So it ain't about race. So it ain't about race.
Let me tell you something, you mofo. He's an ally, okay? He is a ally. And he runs the fourth biggest, whatever that shit's called, economy in the world.
GDP.
Oh, God. Ooh, it's going to be good. Oh, Jeremy's going to be good. I'm going to roast that white ass with a $15 job. Oh, God. This is going to be fun. And I'm smoking. Oh, it's going to be
okay.
Oh, he won't come up. Thank you.
Jeremy, good evening.
I'm right here. Hey, Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing. What do you think about what Stephen A. said?
I think it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
That's coming from a white man. Shut your ass up.
No. You can You can wait. You can fucking wait.
No.
Okay.
No.
Now.
Okay.
So first off, let's dispel a few.
Okay, you can't. Okay, wait a minute.
You don't have any mod powers. You don't have no mod powers.
What to go vote?
You have no mod powers.
Who the fuck?
Okay, repeat that, Jeremy.
Okay, so first off, let's just. Let me just. Yeah, you don't have mod powers. Anyway, so.
You don't.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta let him talk, Gangsta Grandma. You're just talking over him. Just like when you come up, they let you talk. Go ahead.
let's just dispel this whole idea that white people have never done anything for the black vote. In general. First off, it was actually primarily Europeans that ended slavery around the world. It was actually the last group of people to continuously push slavery were actually Arabs. The Arab slave trade, who also enslaved white people and had even way more brutal and way larger.
But what does they got to do with this though? I don't get that.
Well, I just wanted to dispel one of the lies that Gangsta Grandma was saying.
No.
Now, when it comes to
you're talking about. We're talking about Jim Crow. We're talking about why we have to vote for the white D-man that don't give two fucks about us. Mind your business. Why stay in your white tea lane? You're dead ass fucking wrong. For one, the white man. Haiti was the first one. Then it was Mexico. Actually, Mexico was first about abolishing slavery. And then it was Haiti. It was nothing about the white man. I advise you to shut the fuck up on God. White man can't do shit for us. Never going to be shit for us. So shut your bitch ass down. With your $15 hour job. Yes,
actually, I'm going back to school to become
Okay,
hold on. Okay, Gangsta Grandma.
I'm going back to 8 inches, 6 inches. Which one you want, bitch? Because I will come for your ugly ass.
No, you won't. You won't do shit. Anyway,
you ain't shit,
so Tim, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tim.
I'm listening, Jerry. Okay. Gangsta Grandma, you just talking over everybody. You gotta let other folks speak.
He's not even talking when
we can't hear him. We can't hear nothing but it is just you talking constantly. Let's hear what he has to say first. You're just talking over everybody. Go ahead, Jeremy.
It's interesting how she can't control her emotions. But anyway, so when it comes to what Stephen A was saying, yeah, he's absolutely right. You know, one of the things that people don't remember is that the Dixiecrats were actually a splinter group from the Democrats, and they were one of the most racist group of people that ever existed in the United States.
Yeah.
Now, there's also the myth.
And they turned into the Republicans. And
there was no party switch. There's no evidence of that.
Yes,
that's a myth that's been made up.
There was.
Well, Jeremy, let me say this, Jeremy.
That's how stupid your white man ass is.
Okay.
Go drink more mayonnaise. Go jump off a bridge like he wants you to. Go.
Jeremy, Jeremy, you do realize that from the 1800s up to like the 1960s, blacks were Republican. So
yes, I know.
No shit.
So
yes, and one of the things that ensnared black people was the Democrats starting to change their language and realizing they couldn't win fair and square. Because a lot of what they started to do was to offer programs that did not actually long-term benefit black people.
Come at us, and now shut the fuck up. So you don't know shit about history. And then the MLK even said he started to notice the white man's party was the Republicans. So people started switching up. Get the fuck out of here, white boy. You don't know shit. You really don't know shit. I know my history, white boy.
Oh, okay, Jeremy. Hold on. Okay,
sweetheart, I'm actually Latina, and I
what the fuck ever? Yes, master, you're white. You're a white one. Yes,
if
master.
You say so. Keep telling yourself that.
You're a white boy. You're a white boy.
And this white boy's actually going back to college, sweetheart, not you. I know you didn't finish high school, okay? We all know that.
You want a cookie? You want a chocolate chip? You want some kind of color in you? You want a cookie?
Okay, hold on.
You know some shit.
Okay, hold on. Let me just say this, Jeremy. While her delivery and ability to let the other person talk is terrible, she is right. What she is saying about the Republican Party going white is a quote from Martin Luther King. She is 100% correct. Her delivery is just horrible because she's talking all over you. But she is right. The switch happened because Martin Luther King was in jail. He asked the Republican president better yet, his family tried to get the Republican president to see what they could do to get him out. And his family got pretty much kicked to the curb. And Kennedy then received a phone call, and Kennedy was like, I'll see what I can do, and they ended up getting him out, and that's what he ended up having a lot of pastors in the South convince folks that maybe the Democrat Party was a better party. But
Thank you, Tim. You finally had my ass.
Well, it's hard when you don't have any self-control.
Thank you, Tim. See, you put that white boy in his place.
You know what? I'll give you this, Tim. You definitely help out with the low IQ.
Your mom is one, though. She interbred your sorry ass. I shouldn't argue with people.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? You know what? You want to know where the highest level? You want to know? Hey, Gangster Grandma, quick question. Do you know where the highest level of inbreeding happens? Somalia.
Actually, it's white.
No, it's not. There's no evidence.
Unfortunately, Gangster Grandma got taken down by the app. I just noticed it dropped her, so
Yeah.
it happens. But Jeremy, so you do think Stephen A has a point? You do believe?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And here's the thing, I'm biased because I'm right wing. You know, obviously I'm going to naturally be biased. But here's something that a lot of people don't understand. If a lot of people forget that one of the things that the Republicans are always trying to push is a level of self-reliance. Now, I think that sometimes they go a little far to the point where they ignore that some people, like with people with mental disabilities or things like that, probably can't be expected to do as much on their own. You know, I can see that they sometimes take it a little too far. But the thing is, we all need to be a little more self-reliant as much as we can within reason, because if you can't rely on yourself, then you need to rely on somebody else. And that's something that
I would say this. I'm okay with the self-reliance aspect of things, but if a person is really going to work and trying to be self-reliant, you shouldn't allow them to be taken advantage of. And I think that's where the Republic, okay, if I go to work every damn day, could you at least fight to ensure I get a decent wage? The Republican Party is like, we want you to go to work every day. And if your boss or your corporation is ripping you off, we ain't going to do shit to help you. You just need to find another place to work. I mean, they're doing nothing even for the folks who are putting in an honest day's work.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. Now, there are some establishments, people on both sides of the aisle who probably I remember a good joke that was told a long time ago where they said all politicians should have to wear NASCAR shirts so that way we know what they're sponsored by. And I thought that was great. And I thought that was pretty good. So there is some of that, and that's part of the reason why I don't like establishment people. I still don't like Trump because he wasn't as establishment as other people.
But in regards to what Stephen A is saying that blacks should vote Republican, is right now a good time to do so? Because some would argue that Trump is not a Republican.
Yes, because he's only got 4 years left and then he's out.
Well, but if you start voting for Trump, he's going to put people in that think like him, not necessarily that think Republican. I mean, keep in mind, he doesn't like Romney. He doesn't like McCain. He didn't like the Reagan family. He didn't like the Bushes. The people who are traditionally Republican, he don't like them. He like people that are loyal to what he wants to do. So you're not guaranteed if you vote Republican right now to get true Republicans. You're getting loyalists to Trump.
Yeah, but here's the thing: once he's out, they'll turn real fast.
How do you know?
That, but there are principled Republicans too. There are principled Republicans, like for instance, Brandon Herrera.
I don't know if I can agree with that. When President Trump says, "I want to nationalize the election and put Republicans in control," that's about as much for big government as you can be. I don't see any of these principled Republicans you're talking about speaking out about that. They didn't say nothing.
Have you ever heard of the candidate Brandon Herrera?
No. What do you explain him? No.
So he actually probably married a different Republican who was just as much of a rhino and a liar as Trump is, known as Tony Gonzalez.
But you're talking about one guy, though. What I'm saying, Jeremy, is that the Republican Party has allowed Trump to make all sorts of big government statements. His spending is out of control, doing everything the Republican Party normally stands against, and they're not really complaining that much.
Okay, well, you know what? If you really want to make sure that you get more of the same, vote Democrats. They've been voting Democrat for how many years now at this point, and things haven't gotten better. It's probably.
I don't know if I agree with that. What do you mean by haven't gotten better? Explain that.
Most Democrat cities are poorly run. They have lots of violence. There's oftentimes very poor care for the minority communities, and overall, red areas are just better.
Well, I don't agree with that. I'll tell you why. You hear about how poorly ran Democrat cities are, but you don't hear the Republicans bragging about any city that's better that you should move to. They're attacking Democrat cities, but they're not providing any well-run Republican cities. So, I mean, Republican areas are dirt poor. They're not that great off either. They just are not. Notice they're not celebrating their own cities. They're just attacking Democrat cities.
Well, there aren't a whole lot of Republican cities.
Can we please, for one, this white man doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about.
Hey,
The blue
hey, Gringo, how you doing? It's good to see you, sweetheart.
The blue cities are very much funded. It's the poor white trash cities, the red ones that are the brokers to the brokers. If California, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, any of them states pull out and don't give you motherfuckers a damn dime, you guys will be going bankrupt. You guys
There's no
can't even
evidence
do
of
a
that.
budget. That is the truth. That
There's
is.
no evidence.
Well, I will.
Damn! Are you fucking shitting? That's how dumb this damn reject is. All your red states.
Everywhere that's red
are
is
broke.
cheaper to live in and less people
All your
poverty.
red states are broke. And if you had a blue city in your red state, they're the ones that are keeping you afloat. I think you need to go get educated before you come up and talk about black folks, bitch.
It's funny
And
that the
what?
person who says educated can't pronounce it correctly.
I said it in a different way so I won't get blocked. And guess what, Tim? Somebody is reporting me. Because instead I got reported. It wasn't TikTok. So you got rats in your...
Well, you are calling
better go get
you are calling the
exterminated.
guy. We are calling the guy bitches and white boys. I mean,
No,
yeah.
it's that it. No, Tim.
I get what you're saying, but you are doing things that might lead to somebody reporting you.
Should I start reporting it? Because I would report all y'all fucking white TV.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're not debating. You're insulting the fuck out of them. Yeah, people might report you.
Why is a white man speaking on us? Do you see that?
But-
I'm actually Latino,
It's right
sweetheart.
there.
Again,
He's
I'm Latino. I'm
reporting
not white.
Okay.
I'm not white.
First of all,
I'm not.
You are.
if you disagree with what he's
Bitch, I'm
saying,
not white.
if-
You got me fucked up. I'll never be white. I'll never vote
But you
for a
certainly
fucking
like
Republican.
white dick, though.
oh my God.
Okay. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Now I'm gonna roast you to fucking hell. You sorry.
I mean, that's why you keep talking about it all the time. You keep talking about the white syrup all the time.
No, honey. I would never go out there savage, bitch. I would never degrade myself to fuck one of you sorry asses. You mayonnaise burnt bitch.
Okay,
All you
okay.
do
All right,
now.
gangster. I'm a
Fuck you.
gangster.
And let me tell you something else.
Methinks the lady doth
Bitch,
protest too
I got
much.
more than you ever do. This black woman can outdog you ass in anything. See, I'm not over here washing people's dishes, bitch, like the slave master does. Bitch, I own everything I got. I
I'm
don't have
actually
to come
going back
over
to
here.
school to become an accountant, sweetheart. It's okay.
I make $15 an hour. I'll be so proud. Bitch, I make more
And
than
I'm
that.
going to be making
so
40
kiss my
pretty
ass.
soon. Don't worry.
You need to get educated.
I am going back to
Because,
school,
because the blue
sweetheart.
cities are the ones and the blue states fund the red states.
Then how come
That
they're
is
unaffordable?
proof.
Then how come they're unaffordable?
Oh my.
I want to talk to you in short about this, Jerry. But I mean, but she did send a galaxy. That's why she's up.
That's fine.
But I'll tell you
For
this.
one, I need my time back. Because right when he got up here, I was getting reported. So you need to tell your rats to quit fucking reporting me.
I don't
All
report
right.
shit. What the fuck are you
I'm
talking
not
about?
talking to you.
Okay. How about this? I'll bring you up in detail, Gangsta Grandma. But let me holler at him for a minute. I'll give you your time
I
back.
said what I don't. Wow, really?
Yeah,
You just
really.
lost your damn, you just lost your damn biggest support. So I'm gonna say none of you
Okay.
redneck motherfucker. No.
Okay.
Hi, Alicia.
Now, okay. Here's the thing. And listen. I mean, I don't mind bringing Gangsta Grandma up, but if you guys are if she's just cussing you out and you're not allowed to talk, there's nothing there. There's nothing in substance.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of insults. I agree. I think she set you straight on the party switch. She's correct, but her delivery is so insulting. This is the same argument the liberals face they give at Trump, where some of the things Trump suggests might be good for America, but if you're going to laden it with insults every damn where, nobody's going to listen to it. And
Right.
you can't complain about Trump if you're doing it as well. But in regards to liberal cities not being properly run, and African Americans, you're saying in liberal cities not being treated right. Notice how you don't hear the right bragging about, well, if you lived in one of our cities, if you name a city, African Americans here getting treated great. It ain't happening nowhere in the Republican areas either.
Okay, well, Tim, can I ask you a little question?
Sure.
Okay. What's a Republican city?
That's a problem. is that when you get a diverse group of people together, they run from the Republican Party. The Republican Party and diversity is like oil and water. It doesn't go together. Your party does not favor diversity. Even your meetings and gatherings are not very diverse.
Oh, well, first off, there are just more white people in general than there are of any other race. Individually, now all together, nah, not so much. There's a plurality of minorities in the United States. But here's the thing: the majority of places that are red tend to be a little bit more rural or suburban, which makes sense.
I don't know if you realize it, Jeremy, but there's some really dirt poor rural red areas. You go to Eastern. In fact, I think the poorest counties in America are in Eastern Kentucky, and that shit is blood red. I mean, they're dirt poor.
That's what I said. But there's also really rich areas that are also red as well, especially like in the suburbs. And in some rural areas, there are actually very rich people. Here's the thing, Tim. Here's the thing. Okay. At the end of the day, I don't want to have anything against you because you're liberal, and I very much appreciate being able to come up here. I think that you come from a different school of mind, where you think that a school of thought, I should say, where you think that it's diversity that causes these places to be blue. I would say it's actually more dependent on services and public transportation and things that are usually provided by the city that encourages people to be blue.
Well, it ain't just that. Well, I'll tell you this. You know, being an African American that worked at United Parcel Service as an unloader, and I was in the international.
I worked at FedEx.
Huh?
Nice. Oh, I worked at FedEx as well.
Yeah.
I worked at FedEx.
But when I worked at UPS, I was in I can't think of the name of the union I was in right now. The
Teamsters
union. Yes. And then when I worked at AT&T as an engineer, I was in the IBEW. The point I'm making is, when you look at, because we're talking about poorly ran cities and cities that don't treat African Americans right. When you look at where all of the brothers are that are doing well, it's mostly in cities. I'm talking about the guy who works for the bus company, got a good union job, got a house, a nice car, his family's doing good. The guy who works for the police, or the guy who works at the fire department, the guy like myself who works for the phone company. That's where most of the blacks that are doing well, the middle class blacks, it ain't in Republican areas. It ain't in rural Oklahoma. It's in Democrat cities. That's where the best opportunities for people of color are. It's not in Republican areas. You guys are anti-union. So if you leave Detroit at an auto facility,
that's actually a bit of a misnomer. We're anti-forced union. We're anti-league.
Okay.
We're anti-forcing somebody from a union. That's why, we want unions to be something you join because you're allowed to and you think it's good for you, not because the company won't hire you.
But that makes no sense, Jeremy. If our union, let's say for instance we got a company, 500 workers in what you said, we're going to have a union, but it's not forced. So 300 of us out of the 500 workers decide we want to be in the union. We'll pay dues, we'll fight, and we negotiate deals with the corporation so that we get fair treatment. Why does the other 200 that ain't doing shit, ain't paying no dues or anything, why should they get a benefit of it? Should you pay the union folks who are working to negotiate better deals a better salary than the 200 that are not involved?
Well, I understand how you feel, okay? But let me address that by saying this. That's not always how unions act. It depends on the union. Some unions, here's the thing. I actually was out. I was actually a worker who was not a part of the union at one point when I was working at a grocery store. And then after I found out some things about how shady the company could be, and how quickly they let you go, I actually joined the union. So there's already incentive to join unions where they make sense, but also sometimes unions just become kind of like drinking in places where people just get together and they don't really do a whole lot.
I gotta vehemently disagree. I'll tell you this. You'd be hard pressed to find any union job that you could leave that job while you're in a union and go do the same job somewhere else that's non-union, and you're going to get the same benefits, pay, and everything. If you leave the union environment and go to a non-union environment, the average worker in that non-union environment makes less. Their job is less secure. They got less benefits. They get less raises. I don't know why people would think that you're better off without a union. Not having a union is akin to going to court without a lawyer. Everything about your job is less secure and less lucrative if you don't have a union.
Actually, okay. So here's the thing: you worked for
UPS versus FedEx. Yes, good example.
Yes, FedEx does not have a union.
Right.
And you want to know something? We actually had better pay.
Your job is not secure, Jeremy. You don't get the same job security at FedEx that you're going to get at UPS. You don't have union stewards or any of that.
Yeah, but I didn't need it as much. And here's why. First off, sometimes unions can be a good way to hire people who probably shouldn't be hired and probably maybe deserve to be fired in some cases. Maybe they're not doing their job as much, but the union protects them. That's not always a great thing. Okay, sometimes here's the thing. That's why I'm not anti-union. I'm anti-forced union. I think that sometimes it depends on the union. Like, for instance, I'm glad that actors, I know the really rich people, but actors actually do need a union because acting is hard to measure. It's hard to go to court and sue your employer for saying, "Oh, I did a great job acting," since it's so.
Here's where I disagree. Here's where I disagree when you say I don't need a union. I think all of us probably realize. I don't care how much you like your job, how much you enjoy what you're doing. You're only one bad boss away from your job sucking. All it takes is one boss to come in there with his own agenda that is anti-you, and all the security you thought you had, all the hard work you thought you put in, all of that's gone. And you don't know, you have no control. If you're in a union, you have some protections against one bad boss coming in there and not liking you for a reason. Maybe you get gangsta grandma as your boss and she don't like the way you fucking vote. The fact that you work hard, you show up every day, none of that matters. She don't like you because you vote for Trump. If you're in a union, little shit like that can't get you. If you're non-union, you got to come up with the legal fees and take the company to court and fight on your own. So the idea where I don't need it, you never know when you're going to need it.
Right, and here's the thing. I actually think unions used to be much more useful, but there are so many laws on the books about wrongful termination nowadays that a lot of lawyers will just straight up say, "I'll take the case for free because I know we're going to win."
I think you're naive on that, man. I'm telling you.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. There are a lot of lawyers out there, depending on if you have.
And that's what you're depending on. That if I get fired, if I get wrongfully terminated, there's going to be some lawyer that'll take the case for free. That's what you're believing.
Well, that, or they'll take it for a really cheap price and say, "Yeah, but you're going to get a whole bunch. You're going to make us both very rich because you have a legitimate case." Now, again, I'm not saying that unions aren't always necessary. I'm saying I don't think it's universal. Not every job needs a union, especially when there are strict laws that say exactly how much. What you can fire someone and what you can't for, especially if you can say, "Hey, look, I produced X amount of widgets on the assembly line every single day, and I did way better than everybody else, and also they had no evidence against me for their essay harassment."
If you got a union steward, the boss already know he can't do that shit to you. You don't have to go through all that. I got to move it on, Jeremy, but I'm going to tell you the idea that you don't think you might need a union shows you haven't been in the working world long enough, because it doesn't matter how hard you work. You're only one bad boss away from somebody that's not like you. I got to move it on, though.
Have a good one, Tim.
You too. Tap the screen, get the lights on up. Wow, to get us up to 20,000, if you will. Jeremy don't know shit, says King Finn. Well, you know something. If you've worked in a union environment and then you've worked in a non-union environment, you can see the differences like night and day. I've worked for phone companies as a technician in union environments, and I've done it in non-union environments. In a union environment, and thank you, Alter Ego, I appreciate that. Thank you for the TikTok caps. Help your boy out, folks. Thank you for the support. I'll tell you this, in a union environment, because the workers know they have rights, you can see the confidence in the workforce in regards to knowing their boss can only do so much. In non-union environments, you have a lot more office snitches. You have a lot more people who will do anything to keep their job because they know they don't have much security on their job. They know they're in a weaker position. In a union job, you already know, look, if I'm 10 minutes late, I can get rolled up, but he can't fire me for this. We have the contract. You already know what he can and can't do. Just like in society, the punishment must fit the crime. In a non-union environment, boss can tell you, look, you 10 minutes late. I see you were 10 minutes late a couple years ago. We got to let you go. That'll never work in a union environment. You just know what your rights are. You have a contract that they've agreed to, you can go to and refer to that. In a non-union environment or this right to work shit, they can fire you for any made-up reason. They don't even really have to explain why they're letting you go. So I don't know why people think you're just as well in a non-union environment. It's kind of like just trusting the corporation to do what's right. Thank you for the hat and a mustache there, James Harper. And tap the screen, folks. Get us up to 20,000. We'll go back to the box and make it happen with James Harper himself. Lots of nepotism in union work. There's a lot of nepotism. Hold on a second. Hang on a second. Oh, stick, hold on. You say there's a lot of nepotism in union workplaces. There's a lot of nepotism every fucking where. I mean, look, if your dad worked at a non-union company for 20, 30 years, he could probably get you in there. It ain't got nothing to do with just a union. Non-union companies have nepotism as well. Stick, good evening.
Hey, what's going on, Tim?
Not much. You're way from the mic, talking, but you're like echoing.
My bad. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, loud and clear. Black men voting for Trump. What say you?
Nah, hell no. And then on top of that, I don't like how Jeremy got up here and it was like comparing slaveries. Like, what are we doing?
Well,
Comparing slaveries now?
I steered them away from the comparing of slavery. I get it.
No. Think about this. Yeah, we whipped you, but they was over there, using different contraptions to torture you. They're worse than us. We unalived you. We raped your women. We did a lot of stuff. But I'm saying they did a lot of stuff worse. Ain't that what they said about Trump? But Biden, man, get the fuck out of here. I'm sick of that shit, bro.
Look,
I'm sick of that shit.
I get your passion. I understand. And I say that all the time. When it comes to Black history, I don't understand why we got to zoom out. If you're talking about history of other cultures in this country, white history, Asian history, whatever, we don't start instantly joining in the conversation with other shit that happened overseas. If you talk about September 11th, we don't start deferring to terrorist attacks in Libya. We focus on September 11th. So I agree with you. When we bring up Black history or slavery, I don't know why what happened to Blacks in other countries needs to come up. I mean, just stick to the topic at hand. I think it's being done, Stick, to dilute the conversation. That's the only reason why I can see it happening. I mean, I think it's being done to dilute the conversation.
Well, it's not even to dilute it. It's to look over there, though. Because they're worse. Like, what the... So, anyway, fuck no. I'll never vote for Trump. I do hope he eats a Big Mac and that be his last one. I think we need a whole new cabinet, not just a president, a whole new cabinet. They're a bunch of suckers, a bunch of do-boys and girls that just, I like Gangsta Grandma. I love you, Gigi, but you gotta tone it to the point where you can get what you need to say out, and you won't get banned. So they all are pieces of trash, and you can't convince flies that honey is better than shit. You can't.
I'm not going to run into that, but and real quick before we continue, I do want to address a comment by Billy in the comments. Says, I'm retired union, large, powerful union. Most union workers vote straight Democrat, except the last presidential election. We voted for President Trump because safety of union ladies using restrooms. You really put your whole union in jeopardy because of the transgender that you probably don't have at your company at all. Now, in regards to you saying I'm retired union and most union workers vote straight Democrat, yeah, because the right wants to disband your union. But the right, like we heard Jeremy say, they don't like forced unions. They want to have it volunteer. Well, if the union is volunteer, it's going to be considerably weaker. So, of course, they're going to vote straight Democrat. You're going to vote for who is in favor of you maintaining power. But he literally said that they normally vote for Democrats, but in the last presidential election, they voted for Trump because of safety of union ladies using restrooms. What do you think about that, Stick? They voted against.
Man, listen, they lying. They tell like what the like. Why do we even go there or even try to make logic out of this bullshit that they talking about?
No, he's for real though.
And furthermore, this is what I say to people who think that the Democratic Party has failed them and they ain't got nothing. No, they're the ones voting for your dumb ass, right? And the other side, which is the Republican side, which is the one Stephen A is talking about, is the one that don't give you anything. He's telling you, hold on. He's telling you the Republican Party ain't doing shit for you because you're voting Democrat. So they're not going to even try to do shit. Trump has already showed us the 20% or 18% that he got ain't did shit, ain't got nothing. The two little nigglets he got up there with him, Byron Donalds and goddamn Tim Kuhn, his ass, neither one of them got a cabinet position.
So what you say? So what you saying? What you're saying is, because just in case folks don't get what you're saying you disagree with Stephen A. that voting for Republicans will get the Republican Party to do anything for blacks because Tim Scott and Byron Donalds showed that even if you vote for Trump, he's not going to do anything for you by pointing out they didn't get cabinet positions or anything.
Not only that, but the steadily shit gearing towards the African American community that we're going to take away this. We want to take plaques down. We don't want you to know about Tuskegee. Here in Florida, we're going to take away AP classes. You're not going to know this about Black history, and we don't want this book and that book and this book and that book. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's in your face. It's obvious. I'm sorry, Tim. You're going to say you like your beloved MAGA, but the motherfuckers is not all races, but all races are MAGA.
I don't believe that. That's why I don't agree with you. I don't think all racists are MAGA. I think there are plenty of liberals that are racist.
I'm going to say it again. Not all MAGA are racist, but all racists are MAGA. It's in our face, bro. I'm not even playing with it no more. I'm done playing devil's advocate. I'm done asking questions. No, the answer is in my face. They're prejudiced. They're racist. They're everything under the sun. And then don't let it be a woman, whether it's white or black or Indian or whatever. So now you a woman, you scarred. You scarred on the right. Like why we sitting up here acting like this shit ain't true?
Well,
and it's in our face.
Well, I'm pushing back on the notion that all racists are MAGA. I don't believe that. I do believe there are Democrat racists. I mean, you don't believe blacks can be racist. That's kind of where you and I disagree. In the comments, Jay Sid said Trump wants to erase Black American history. Do you agree with that?
Hell yeah, I agree with it wholeheartedly. I see it. It's in my face. Like he says again, he's one of those people that he'll tell you him and Jesse Jackson was good because he still wants you to come try to do something for him, right? Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, you ain't do nothing about the flag, but you did Charlie Kirk. We talking about somebody that got years of this shit out there marching. He knew Martin Luther King. He stood right beside Martin Luther King. Like regardless of what everybody want to say, rumors and this, that, and the third, Jesse Jackson was who it was, right? And that was your friend. So-called, you gave him money. You gave him money to run for president. But you ain't do nothing with this.
I gotta agree with you. I don't why
like what we talking about?
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. From that, I don't agree with everything you said, but I totally agree with that point. Why he would treat the death of Charlie Kirk more respectable than Jesse Jackson. I mean, I'm surprised some reporter, CNN or MS. Well, I don't think he even takes questions.
Hold on. The gangster conservative, check this out. It's 40 acres and a mule, you bitch. Get right. It ain't 10. It ain't 10. I don't want just the fucking 10. I want what I'm owed.
Well,
how about that?
If you get the 10 acres in a mule.
If your bitch ass family came over on the Mayflower, you owe me money too, ho.
If you get the 10 acres in a mule, you can still build a tiny house on that, though. So
Man, fuck that. I want mines. If you gonna give me some acres, give me my 40 acres and a mule.
you're not getting the. That's not gonna happen, Stick. Even the Democrat, even
today the mule is a Cadillac Escalade.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I want. On 24s.
So what do you want to put some? Oh, you want a Cadillac Escalade with some rims? So you want to further the stereotype?
Yeah. I want it leather, wood grain. I want a panoramic roof. All of that shit. Give me what I'm owed. Fuck you.
You're not even the Democrats are not going to give you 40 acres and a mule. You're not even going to get it
I
from the
want
Democrats.
TVs. I want flat screens in my shit. I want 215s. All earthquake. So that shit just rattled the whole fucking neighborhood. And I'm gonna live in a white neighborhood. Fuck you.
Okay, let's get out of the fantasy land. But oh my God.
I'm living it right now. I just got it on my own. But I think they owe that to me though. I got it all.
How do you respond to folks who say you never lived one damn day as a slave and they never lived one damn day as a slave owner? Why the hell should they have to give you 40 acres and a mule when that shit was hundreds of years ago? How do you respond to that?
I would respond and say, why do I have to resort to your white privilege? Why do I have to feel like I'm a second-class citizen? Why do we have laws that says you have to be civil towards me? Why? That right there, civil rights is saying you were animals. And we had to come up with rules and regulations just for your ass to be civil. Does that make sense, Tim?
No, I agree that you shouldn't have to pass laws that say you got to treat people equally. I get it. But they're going to say that stuff was years ago, and current white America's not doing this stuff. You're holding white America as of now responsible for things their ancestors did.
I'm not holding them responsible for their ancestors. I'm holding them responsible for the shit they're doing now on my face. I just told you all the shit that he's taking away. Hold on. Matter of fact, how about taking people's lives because of a black man had a contingency plan, a pandemic plan? You want to take this shit away just because a black man came up with it. Now we got over 1 million people lost their lives because of the COVID-19.
Okay.
Fuck Trump.
Here's where I say you're trying to hold current white people responsible for what their ancestors did. If you believe you should be entitled for 40 acres and a mule, current whites have done nothing to you that would justify you getting 40 acres and a mule. That's based on their ancestors.
Hold on, Tim. First of all, me and you wasn't talking about 40 acres and a mule. That was the conservative dude that was coming through saying the little comment. So my comment was, it ain't 10 acres, bitch. It's 40. I want all of mine. That's who I am.
Do you realize what that would do to the current white community if they had to give every black person 40 acres and a mule? You would bankrupt the white community damn near.
No, we wouldn't, because they're steadily building right now. Ain't nobody living in these new houses. Ain't nobody over there because they're still building the fucking houses.
How big is 40 acres? How big is 40 acres? So that's much bigger than a house you're talking about.
Listen, you know how much land is in Texas? You know how much land is in Oklahoma and anywhere else? This shit is enough. It ain't nothing but 40 million of us. So like, what we talking about? It's enough land for everybody.
40. I don't know what the square footage of the United States is, but that's one I would love to know. Could you give 40 million people each 40 acres? I doubt it. I doubt if you could do that.
But it wouldn't even be like that. It would be more structured. It would be more like family or a family. So let's say they gave my father 40 acres and a mule, right? That's our family's 40 acres.
Okay.
So the Johnson family would get 40 acres.
Okay.
Now, the Johnson family maybe 300 and something strong, but even still, y'all got 40 acres to build on that shit, to build y'all own. 40 acres is a fucking lot.
You ain't gonna do shit at that point. I'm sure that I had both of my sides of my family. If I go back on my mom's side all the way up, there's slaves, and certainly on my dad's side as well. But when you think about how big my family tree is, even if they do a lot 40 acres and a mule to my family. First, we would have to go to court and just divide up what we think is worth and give each person a few pennies. You're not going to have hundreds of people managing this small little piece of land.
What you could do is, since it's a family lot, since it's family 40 acres, you could build a strip mall, you could build a business, you could build houses, you could, as long as it's zoned.
Where's the money going to come from to do all that?
Listen, you got land now, that is money.
Bullshit. You telling me if they give you 40 acres, you mentioned Texas or Oklahoma, you know how much of that shit is desert? Somebody give you 40 acres that is, east of Midland, Texas. Ain't nobody coming out there to go to a strip mall and that rural shit.
I'm gonna say it again, Tim. It's more structured. You're not just gonna get this ain't National Lampoon where the fucking family got some nuclear fucking some desert rocks out there in Nevada. We're not doing that.
You said Texas. I heard you say Texas.
Yes, but in Texas, they got shit like Belton. They got shit like Killeen. They got shit like even fucking Houston or the outskirts of Houston, Galveston. There's other places. You ain't gonna just give me just any fucking thing. Again, it's gonna be structured. Like if you got somebody up there that's willing to speak for you and get this shit right, you gonna get the shit right. But that's the only reason we're talking about it is because a comment in that's not what it is right now. What it is right now, he making bitch moves. Iran is showing their ass. They showing you and telling you what's going on. He over there talking about he this and he that. Now you just played something about there's gonna be a deal made by Cuomo, who is he's an outsider compared to Trump. With Trump, he's the enemy. But he knows that there's a deal.
Why is Trump the enemy?
No, I'm saying Cuomo is the enemy.
Oh yeah, but Trump, anybody who disagrees with Trump is the enemy according to Trump.
Exactly. So I'm saying, and then the brother too, like all of that, like they enemies, period, to Trump. But they know that there's a deal being made. So at the end of the day, Iran is doing their thing, bro. And I'm not congratulating them because I don't like that shit. My fellow servicemen being, you know what I'm saying, unalive or anything like that. But what I will say is this.
Thank you, Brandon.
It ain't on them. It's on our president. Fuck him.
Well, he is the guy that we voted in. I got to move it on stick. I do agree with you, though, is that Iran is doing their thing. I think President Trump has been very successful throughout life, certainly as a politician, by bullying people. And just like with any bully, you will always eventually encounter somebody that you can't just bully. And Iran is turning out to be that country. His bullying, all of the threats, even up to and including threatening to annihilate their whole country. What did he say? A whole civilization. None of that has made them move. So that's one country, even though you've bombed all of their military and everything, that is one country where those threats are not working. So his bullying tactics, and thank you, whoever just did that, handsome conservative on Clapper with the money, appreciate that. His bullying tactics are not working on Iran. So we'll see if they can make a deal civilly. But Trump is used to threatening his way to glory. Last word on you.
Last word is this, man. Trump is trying to just put his name throughout history. He's trying to rename airports down here in Florida. Ron DeSantis is going along with it, right? He's already done signed off on it. Trump wants his Roman Empire moment. He wants his Alexander the Great moment. But it's follies. Everything is in your face. He's showing you he's lost equipment, lost soldiermen's lives and servicemen's lives. He ain't shit. Pete Hegseth ain't shit. They can all kiss my ass. And yeah, fuck them.
All right, Stick. I appreciate you coming through. Thank you. And real quick in the comments, I wanted to point out, because he brought up what Chris Cuomo said. And for folks who hadn't tuned in, I'll just give you a few seconds of it because I do think it's worthy of discussing right now, because we've been talking about Stephen A., but how the war in Iran is going is something to discuss as well.
I can confirm that there are negotiations on right now.
Don't know what happened to me audio, but he's saying, Chris Cuomo is saying he can confirm that there are negotiations. Why the hell did I don't know what happened with my device, but we'll figure it out. We're having some sound troubles, but he's saying he can confirm that there are negotiations going on behind the scenes with Iran to make some sort of deal.
Okay, that's the key news.
Let's see if we can make it happen this time.
There are negotiations on right now that are different than what we've seen up to this point. And the next 48 hours is really important. Why? The good news is that this is a uranium-based deal, okay? That's the good news. Up until this point, the regime, bunch of terrorist bastards that they are, has not been open to even discussing this. Why? Because they like the leverage they had in the Strait.
I'll tell you something else, and I wanted you to hear Trump, how Trump has since followed this up with this deal. But to me, what I believe is that Iran, with all of the threats coming from Trump, see this as a fight for survival. So, he's talking about Iran, they see they have leverage in the Strait of Hormuz or whatever the case may be. But when the president is threatening to end your whole civilization and shit like that, not to mention he got rid of the Obama deal, he didn't leave them much choice. He did not leave them much choice. Either you fight this guy to the end. I mean, it's like literally being trapped in a room with a lion. Yeah, the lion is significantly stronger than you. But if the lion has made it clear they're going to bite you no matter what, you're just going to have to fight. That's it. I mean, Trump has trapped them into a corner where either you fight or you get annihilated. We're not going to let up on you. You're going to either fight or we're going to kill you. So, this is the mindset I believe Iran has. Now, Trump makes it clear that, well, we're only about you getting rid of the nuclear weapons, and what else did he say? I want to replace your leadership with leadership that we condone. So he wanted to get rid of the Ayatollah, get rid of the regime, and originally stated he wanted somebody in control of Iran that we agreed with. So in addition to getting rid of nuclear weapons or their nuclear uranium or whatever, their enriched uranium, he wanted to put in leadership that we control. And then, of course, he's telling their citizens to take back control of their country. Let's say in America, since we talked about race earlier, let's say during the Black Lives Matter movement, you got blacks rioting all over America. A bigger, stronger country, if one existed, started bombing America. And they had the same parameters. We want you to get rid of your nukes. We want to put in a leader of America that we agree with. And we want Black Lives Matter to take their country back. There's a large group of people in this country that will be willing to fight to the death for that. You really want America to be controlled by the Black Lives Matter people? So we really want Iran to be controlled by those protesters. They're protesters too, just like Black Lives Matter is. They're protesting something in their country. So at the end of the day, the folks over there are fighting for what they believe is their very survival. Can you imagine a country telling us we want to get your leadership out? And we want to put somebody else in control of the United States that we agree with? We would never agree with that. We would be willing to die to prevent that from happening. We would never agree with having somebody tell us they want to control who is put in our country and disarm us. They want to disarm us. They want a certain group of protesters to take their country back. I use Black Lives Matter as an example. So they want to disarm America, get rid of all the nukes. They want Black Lives Matter to take their country back, I guess, from racist whites or whatever the hell they would be saying. And then they want to put a leader in control of America that they agree with. In this country, people would be willing to fight to the death. You would not be able to get them to make some kind of negotiation and agree with that. That's why Iran is not agreeing with it. It's a pretty steep hill to climb that President Trump is demanding that they do. They're not going to agree with that. I mean, we would consider that as totally annihilating the traditional way of life in America. That would be a total annihilation of how we think, what the founding fathers thought and everything. So we wouldn't agree with it. They're not going to agree with it. But I do want you to hear with this whole discussion about now that they're behind the scenes coming to an agreement, I want you to hear what President Trump has said once again.
To the war with Iran, President Trump is threatening Iran with more attacks if the country doesn't accept a peace agreement and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. President paused a new military effort to secure the waterway a day after it launched. CBS News Money's Natalie Brand is at the White House with the very latest.
Iran's military thanks ship owners today for complying with its regulations for the Strait of Hormuz. That development comes as President Trump paused the administration's use of the military to help guide commercial ships through the strait.
The people are really to decide whether the straits are open or not are the
Okay, and I'm going to stop it at his opinion there, but you did hear what she said, that President Trump is now saying if they don't have a deal, we're going to go back to bombing them. I don't know how many times I can say this, but bullying Iran is not going to work. I don't know why maybe advisors around Trump, Marco Rubio's the smartest in the room. Why don't he go and talk to Trump and tell him, nobody is going to work out a deal with you when you're constantly threatening them. Make a deal and let's see what happens with the deal. You're telling folks constantly, if you don't agree to something, we're going to kill you. It's not going to work. Every time you hear a statement coming from Trump towards Iran, it features a threat. Now, if they do have protesters in their country and Trump is able to threaten their regime and get them to stand down, that makes the protesters feel more emboldened. So the regime got to stand up to President Trump. You can't just let this guy threaten and punk you out like that. That's what happened with NATO. That's why NATO is not helping us. These people have millions of voters and constituents in their own countries. If you are a chancellor of Germany or the prime minister of Canada or the leader of one of these other countries, your people know what Trump is saying about you on the world stage. If you stand down, come the next election, your people are going to look at you like you're a pussy. You just let America talk to you like shit. And there you are. Now you're sending troops to help him out with Iran. You're just letting them disrespect you. I don't know why he doesn't figure that out, because Trump wouldn't let you talk to him like that. He wouldn't agree with it. Let me go back to the box. James Harper. Good evening, James. Trump needs to shut the hell up, somebody says. He's upset because the deal is going to look like the previous one. Agreed. That is exactly what's going to end up happening. We're going to get some sort of deal that is very similar to what was a JPO, whatever the acronyms are, but very similar to the Obama deal. James Harper, would you not agree with that?
Yeah. In fact, you already saw the terms that they was posting online.
I didn't see it. What are the terms?
It's pretty much the JCPOA, except for it's going to be a lot more money that they were going to release. Like 10 times what Obama deal was.
So in other words, after all of this talk about how Obama was sending them piles of cash and money at the end of runways and shit, Trump is going to give them 10 times as much as part of this deal.
Right.
Well, at the end of the day, we do probably have to pay for all the damage we've done to their country. Probably throw some money in and help them get the mines they put in the water back out. Not to mention, you've killed a couple hundred innocent schoolgirls. Their families got to be rewarded. I mean, all of that's probably in there. I could see where it could be much higher than what Obama did. We got to pay for all the damage we did.
Yeah. And
what you think that's a good deal?
I think we got no choice if they want business to go back as usual. Because think about it. There's no way in the world that him trying to go further than what he's already done is not going to lead to more problems, because they're doing a proxy war just like we did with Ukraine. You think that both China and Russia is not going to sit there and help them out?
Yeah. Well, Trump has already confirmed that Russia. Well, I think he confirmed that both China and Russia is helping them, but he confirmed that Russia was giving Iran weapons and intelligence already. He's already confirmed it.
Not to mention, they're opening up land routes to other oceans to send everything else. So basically, what's going to end up happening is you're not stifling them like you said you are, and you're not punishing the people that are helping them. So what's the point?
Well, how about this though? Handsome Conservative on Clapper says, "What makes you think we have to pay them anything? We're at war with them. We don't owe them any money." How do you? I got an answer for that, but I want you. How do you respond to that?
First off, you're saying we had war with them, but we lifted sanctions off of them.
And we claiming we're the ceasefire too.
Right.
My answer is simple. If you don't give them any money, they're not going to stop doing what they're doing. They're going to continue controlling the strait. And I think we've seen now that Trump said he was going to, what was it, Project Freedom, where the U.S. Navy was going to escort ships through the strait. And Iran said, fuck it. They started not only shooting at the ships that were being escorted, they started shooting at the U.S. Navy. So President Trump, in Lego fashion, literally living up to the Lego videos, he backed down and canceled Project Freedom. So either you give the Iranians money or you just remain at a stalemate indefinitely. That's what makes me think we're going to give them money. Because the price of gas is going up and up and up. The people in America and in the free world are not happy with the U.S. And unless you do something to reverse this shit, it's only going to keep getting worse. That's why I believe that.
Not to mention, we were the aggressors. I can see if we were the defenders and we would come to an agreement, yeah, that'd be something different. But we were the aggressors. Yeah. We started this.
How is history going to view this? Is it going to be viewed as a success, a stalemate, a failure? I mean, how do you see this being viewed historically? Depending on how it ends, obviously, but how do you see this possibly ending where, how it's viewed historically? Thank you, JPT Farms.
It's going to be seen as a failure.
There's got to be some kind of way Trump could spin it. I mean, he's going to announce it as a success. Trump's going to say it was a success, but there's got to be some way. How about this? If he makes it sound like what conservative is saying, where, maybe he could announce we didn't give them shit, pay off the Iranians behind the scenes and just come and tell the American people, we just gave them a couple million and they knew they better not fuck with the United States. Even though it may be billions of dollars, just undermine how much it was. Tell the Americans something different.
Then it's not going to work that way because history doesn't go off of your interpretation. It goes off of straight facts. Like, it goes off of everything that's recorded.
Well, we still believe Christopher Columbus discovered America, James. I mean, it don't always go off of facts.
No. History says that he didn't do it. The people who romanticize history said he did it.
Okay.
Remember, they also said George Washington was like one of the greatest leaders ever, but history shows that, hey, he was only defending his land and he also owned slaves.
It took a lot.
You get.
Go ahead.
You still get two sides of you still get like all sides of like the person is. The problem is the people who look at the history, they like to romanticize.
Sometimes it takes a long time for history to come out accurately, though. I don't remember being told. I don't remember even having a conversation as a kid on whether or not Columbus discovering America was based on accuracy. We just took that at face value. Now the young children know there's another truth to that story. When we were kids, that was just the way you thought it was true.
No, we knew about that because the first thing that everybody was asking is, if he discovered it, why is it called America?
I don't even remember anybody asking and pushing back. I mean, just like now, people debate whether Jesus was the image that we portrayed. I don't remember any of that shit coming up as a kid.
That's because remember, like back in those days, information was actually like skewed out. Remember, they didn't want you to see Jesus as somebody of a Middle Eastern descent. You wanted to see as like the people who worship him.
Yeah. How about this? Conservative says you don't give money to an evil regime. You end the problem by any means necessary. We could end Iran as a problem, as he's pointing out, by any means necessary. I mean, we could take this up a notch, go atomic, and we probably could do more about it. What about that as an option?
I wish people who've never seen combat would stop speaking on combat and what we should do, because if you've never had that kind of thing happen towards you or seen what it does, you wouldn't be saying this dumb shit. Also, if we go that route, we're opening it up to anybody else who has those type of weapons to go ahead and do the same thing.
Yeah. I think Trump has already opened up the door for people to do things we didn't. I mean, now that we've bombed Iran, we've threatened to take Greenland, we've pretty much replaced the dictator in Venezuela with somebody we liked. Can we really complain if China does it to Taiwan or what Russia's doing with Ukraine? I mean, we've already opened up the door by doing that stuff.
Why do you think they're doing this now? Why do you think they're helping Iran so much?
Well, I mean, Trump has set a new precedent. MAGA thinks it's a good thing, though.
MAGA also thinks that tariffs are paid by the country that we put them on.
Well, some of them are coming around, particularly the farmers. Some of them are coming around now. So I don't know about all of them. So before we run this topic out, how do you feel about what Stephen A. Smith said?
He's a goddamn idiot, and I won't say he's an idiot. What's going on is he's trying to get that MAGA money. That's what he's doing.
What do you mean?
Remember, he just jumped into politics, so he's trying to get that MAGA base to go to him and get him deals and everything like that. That man is not genuine at all.
Bro, he's also called Trump a compulsive liar, so he's not going to get the MAGA money as you're talking about. I mean, he just had an interview with Megyn Kelly the other day, and she's also on the wrong side of Trump, so I don't know if he's going to get the MAGA money.
He's still trying. He still wants to get that grift. But
Well,
at the same time,
go ahead.
At the same time, he's saying like, "Oh, we should all vote Republican." We see what happens when Republicans get in charge. They're not for the little guy or the small government like they say. No, they're all about the corporation, the people who have all the money. Because every time you look around, there's things that would actually help, like the average everyday person. They look at it as like, no, that's a handout. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do that. And more they take away. Like every time you see a budget, what happens? Every program that's supposed to be helping like the average everyday citizen, they either pull money from it or completely try to eliminate it.
Yeah, but I have to ask you, I mean, there are plenty of impoverished Republicans. If you're saying the Republicans don't look out for the little guy, most of the people who are considered little guys in this country are white. I mean, most of the poor, just in terms of sheer quantity, because it's just far more white people than anybody else, they represent overwhelmingly the little guy. So why would they vote Republican if the Republicans don't look out for their best interests?
Because they believe what they've been saying. They see the Democrats as the party of fascists and commies and all of these things. But at the same time, they don't also see themselves as being the poor and disenfranchised.
Kind of reminds me. Go ahead.
They see like most of the people that's doing the entitlements fraud is being like Democrats in the urban city and all that. They don't see them as like, oh, it's people in our party doing it.
Well, I think they believe that what the Republicans are doing, as they said, Trump is a businessman. I think they believe what the Republicans are doing is better for the financial well-being and the economics of this country. I mean, look, at the end of the day, like I say all the time, I understand why people voted for Trump. He promised some really big, bold things that would really benefit the United States. You mentioned the tariffs, for instance. He promised that would bring in trillions of dollars. So would all the Doge cuts.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you just said that, because they're talking about, oh, the Democrats, they don't do nothing for you, but you just brought up Trump. That man, not only has he not done what he told them, he's done the exact opposite of everything that he said he was going to do.
Well, some of it is still, the jury's still out. Like one of my viewers, something 70s, I can't see the name, but he says Trump is bringing back manufacturing. That's something Trump has stated he's had corporations commit to bringing manufacturing plants back to the United States, which would represent a lot of jobs and money. Jury's still out on it.
I'm glad you're saying the jury's still out, but guess what? I'm about to kill it right now. Because first off, the CHIPS Act and the green energy deal, those were going to be manufacturing, because we was going into renewable energy, building wind turbines and solar panels. With the CHIPS Act, we was going to build semiconductors and things like that. Those industries right now are being dominated by China. We were going to bring that into the U.S., and that was going to be more jobs. But what did they do? They got rid of it because they weren't going to profit on those industries.
Well,
all that stuff was going to be happening.
Well, I can't agree or disagree with you yet because Trump still has 2 years in office and anything can happen. But the point is, MAGA believes that when Trump says that I've gotten a commitment from such and such to do such and such, they take that as fact, as face value, even before it culminates.
MAGA also called Trump the president of peace. Is this the president of peace?
Peace through strength. Peace through strength.
Peace through strength. He's the aggressor. How is it peace through strength if he's going around attacking everybody?
Well, Iran, as Trump has said, was only weeks away from getting a nuclear weapon, and if they had got it, they would have used it already by now. So he was proactive in
there's only two people that were saying that. Trump and Bibi. The entire intelligence community said that's not the case.
Yeah,
even his own people. Like you said that on yesterday's live. His own intelligence director was like, no, that's not the case. They're not doing it. So he did all that. He got rid of the person that was like, hey, this is against our religion. We're not going to do that. And then you put, now his son is in there who you did the most atrocities to that anybody can do. You killed his mother, his father, you killed his wife, his children. That person's not going to want peace with you. He wants vengeance.
Yeah. I would agree with you that if there was ever a desire to obtain a nuclear weapon in Iran, it has had to have increased tenfold after what Trump has done. If you thought they really wanted a nuclear bomb before Trump came along, they absolutely want it now because Trump has shown them clearly how vulnerable you are if you don't get atomic weapons. I mean, by him attacking them like that, he's exposed. Not only that, but I'll tell you this. In my opinion, what Trump has done, not only with Iran, but with Greenland and with Venezuela, and now he's threatening Cuba next, he has shown all of them nations, you need to get armed. You need to do a better job securing yourself. All it takes is one bad actor, and all of this shit could go up. So he's pretty much incentivized all of them to form some kind of coalition, just like we formed a coalition against Russia with the Soviet Union thinking that they were going to expand and take everybody over. This could lead to folks forming a coalition against us for the same purpose.
Right. And basically what happened is this man has destabilized the entire planet. He's made it to the point that NATO is upping their armaments. You got everybody, all the trade routes that's been like going on for the last 50 years, all of those are starting to switch up now because of the shit he's doing, because he's trying to line his own pockets.
No, I think he's doing that very successful. I got to move it on, James, but I think history will say that Trump made a lot of money. I mean, I know Biden and Obama and Clinton and all of them made money too, but yeah, history is going to show he made significantly more money than anybody.
And it's going to show that he made significantly more mistakes than anybody too.
Ooh. We'll see. That the jury's out on that. Thanks for coming through, James. I appreciate it.
No problem, Tom.
Thanks. Tap the screen, folks. We should be around 40, 50. We 23? Really? Tap the screen, get the likes up. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash that like button as well. We don't block, ban, or censor. This is uncensored programming in a MAGA-friendly format. We don't get as many MAGA, but damn it, when they come through, we are MAGA-friendly as well. We don't block or censor anybody's comments, so it doesn't matter what your political leanings are. Tap the screen, get the likes up. On TikTok to 30,000, we'll take the next caller at such. First thing Democrats need to do is freeze Trump and his family's assets. We want our money back, says Lisa. It depends on how they write the pardons. I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, no matter what pardons Trump throws down, there's going to be people who finagle state laws to go after Trump. Because usually if you commit a federal crime, it's probably some state criminality involved in it as well. So even if he pardons himself and gives pardons to many of his administration and supporters and lawyers and shit, the states can still go after them. The states can still pursue them. So that's probably what's going to end up happening is a lot of state charges going after President Trump. I don't look. It is what it is. I know the right is going to say, "Here you guys go with a third impeachment," or Russia, 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 all this other bullshit. Call it what you want. They're not going to let Trump ride off into the sunset. They're just not. I mean, we'll find out how justified or not it is. But I'll just say this. When you make a history of taunting and trolling, you kind of create hate. I'm not saying the Democrats like Trump to begin with, but all the insults, taunting and trolling he did, that didn't help it. You want to point out what they were saying stuff about him too, tit for tat style, whatever. Whatever the case may be, all of the taunting and trolling is probably the biggest thorn in President Trump's side. I really believe his deal with Iran. I believe that what's going on with Iran is worse for the wearer because Trump talks so much. I think most of the things Trump has tried to do has been hindered by how he talks, tweets, and treats people. Just get the fucking job done. You don't need to brag. You don't need to insult. Get off the fucking internet. You were put in to govern. Just do that. Now, I do understand MAGA loves that shit. And that's what he's doing it for. MAGA loves that shit. So I understand why he's doing it, but it's going to be a big hurdle to his success because you're creating enemies because you're taunting and trolling people so much. Looking in the comments, though, tap the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, I need you to smash that like button. Crying clutch your pearls all you want, but Trump will be remembered as the best president we've ever had. Salty Colonel, based on what? What is Trump? Trump has now been president nearly 6 years. What has he done that would put him in the best category? Give me some of his biggest accomplishments that would put him over Kennedy, FDR, Lincoln, Washington. What has he done? He's not going to be remembered as the best president yet unless he accomplishes something big going forward. He ain't done nothing to be put in the category of best president. He's the best president at trolling and taunting. I'll give him that. But in terms of actual accomplishments, give me something from President Trump that he's done 50 years from now we'll still be talking about. Like defeating Hitler 70, 80 years ago. We still talk about it. Women's suffrage, freeing slaves, Civil Rights Act, fighting off the English. Stuff that we still talk about from, give me something Trump has done 50 years from now we'll still be talking about. Best president ever. It's got to be something with some longevity to it. Give me something that has that sort of longevity to it. None of them can give you anything that he's done because he hasn't done anything but screw the whole world up. Wow. Why should people tell you what he's done when you can research yourself? This is not a fucking research program. We're on live. If you're making a statement live and your statement is questioned, you don't refer me to some site. Back up your shit. Come on, you can research it. That's not what we're here for. We're here, if you're saying something in your question, back up what you just said. I don't eat, sleep, or drink anything I don't like, but the Democrat Party, they love Trump because that's all they talk about. So you're saying because the Democrats only talk about Trump, that means Trump loves Biden? Is that what you're suggesting is because Trump always talks about Biden, he loves Biden? Make it make sense. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get the lights on up to 40,000. We'll help your boy out. Thank you for that, Mike the Sailor. We'll go over to Instagram, Sherbert. We will be talking about the terrorists 50 years later. We will be talking, what are we talking about that Trump has accomplished 50 years later? Sherbert, maybe you can help us out. What has Trump accomplished that will stand the test of time 50 years later that's still celebrating?
I mean, the tariffs on Penguin Island will definitely be talked about in previous generations.
Wait, say that again?
The tariffs on the Penguin Island. 100%, because the penguins are fucking us over. We gotta tell them who is boss.
Yeah. So you're saying that in other words, not a damn thing is what you're saying.
Nothing good, but all of his very stupid and R-word, policies will absolutely be talked about forever. He will be known as our worst president ever.
I don't know about it. You think Trump, now you're on the other side. You believe Trump will be the worst president ever? I mean, look, there's slavery. There are folks who didn't want to give a woman the right to vote. Then folks who were against civil rights. Trump hasn't done things that are that bad.
Yes, he has.
Oh, he hasn't?
He has.
Like
yes,
what?
He has, motherfucker.
Like what? Like what?
Son-in-law be the ambassador for several important countries as we were trying to negotiate peace across the entire fucking world. Yeah, we're gonna remember that shit instead of sending his personal lawyer to negotiate deals across the entire fucking world. We're gonna remember this piece of shit, Tim. Fuck you.
I think there's going to be some folks like yourself that does not like Trump, but I don't believe Trump will go down in history as the worst president ever. Now, Tamar says, I think Tamar might be close. He says in modern history. What about that?
I don't know of any other worst president. There's Bush. He did some fucked up shit, but at least he had a terroristic attack to base his bullshit on. All we've got is, I didn't like it, so we better go to war. What?
I'll give you the president, I think, what's his name? Andrew Jackson, I think. The guy who served after Abraham Lincoln. The guy who, even though Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, he set everything back so that African Americans in the South were still being treated almost the same way. I think he is worse than anything Trump has ever done.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It definitely depends on your perspective, but living in this time, going through 20 years of presidents, I didn't really give a shit about. They're just making the system run. Cool. To then, fuck you, we're good. We're number one, and everyone is our enemy, even though our allies that we've had for 30 fucking years and pay billions of dollars in defense industries that we directly make money off of.
But let's say...
No, they're our fucking enemies. Everything's cool because we're awesome. Fuck yeah, go America. Fuck you, Tim.
you sound like the male version of Gangsta Grandma, some are saying.
Yeah, a little bit, because I agree with Gangsta Grandma. I don't agree with Trump or any of these MAGA fucking bullshit artists.
Let's say President Trump prevents Iran from obtaining a nuclear bomb. His terrorists...
They didn't have.
Well, depends on who you ask.
No, fuck you. Tulsi Gabbard, our fucking director of national intelligence, said that they didn't have it, they weren't planning on it, and they weren't working toward it.
Tulsi...
Fuck you, Tim.
We can sum this whole discussion up in fuck you, Tim. Look, according to Trump, Tulsi Gabbard didn't know what the hell she was talking about. Fuck you, Tulsi.
According to the dumbest president we've ever fucking had, and that's including Bush.
Look.
I'd be so much happier if Trump had some shoes thrown at him.
Okay. Why you don't wish ill will on a president? Certainly not physically.
I wish some shoes would be thrown at him.
And thank you, Handsome Conservative. I appreciate the Bad Bunny. Handsome Conservative. He also, he didn't vote for Trump the last time, but I mean, look, if Trump's tariffs end up being profitable for the United States, would you at least give him credit for that? I think you are meeting the definition of what some would say has teeth.
To do refunds to our companies that had to pay the tariffs if they become profitable. Fuck you.
I think you're meeting the definition of what the right calls Trump derangement syndrome. You just hate the guy.
The people that say he's never lied have Trump derangement syndrome, Tim.
There's only one of those. There's only one person I've talked to that says Trump has nenever lied.
There's one person you're talking to. There is so many that say he's never lied, that say he's the best president ever, that he's got an A++++
Bro,
on the economy. Fuck you.
Well, some people do believe President Trump has done a decent job for the country.
I would like to not get you kicked off of TikTok, but Those people are the R word.
Okay, how about this? He gave us Operation Warp Speed. Do you give him credit for that? Johnny Shade says, bye, Tim. Okay, go ahead.
And the penny. That's the only thing I will ever give him credit for. Because I never liked Penny.
You give him credit for Operation Warp Speed? Trump saved millions of lives with Operation Warp Speed.
Sure. And I took the vaccine twice.
So thank you, Trump. Can you say it with me? Can you say it with me? Thanks, President Trump.
No, I will never do that.
Even though he got you vaccinated, it probably saved your damn life. Thanks, President Trump.
I can agree with someone and not praise them, Tim.
Okay, but you can say thank you.
No.
So in other words, you're not going to give this guy credit no matter. You are one of them people that the right talks about. Even if he cured cancer, you wouldn't give him credit.
I don't think he could. But he kind of did because the RMNA vaccine was a cure for cancer. That's why it worked so well for COVID, because it found the genetic difference and cut it out of our DNA. The people that don't understand and still support Trump, I will never be okay with those people. So no, I'm not going to give him fucking vocal praise when he's fucked up so much shit, and we are the laughing stock of literally the entire world. There was entire dictators that were living in the sand that are not nearly as laughed at as us right now.
Trump says we're the hottest country on earth, Sherman.
I don't give a shit what he says. He also says he didn't, he was for the Epstein release, and then yelled at, I don't care if we got to start a war, we're not going to release the Epstein files. So, fuck you, Tim.
Well, he changed his mind a little bit on Epstein. I mean, a man's entitled to change his mind, is he not? A man's entitled to change his mind.
But when he changes his mind every 3 days on Iran, I don't give a shit what he changes his mind to.
And then
you and me agree like 50 to 80% of the time on actual policies from when you're not trying to just defend Trump. So I know what's going on, but you can't just say, hey, we won the war within, a day and a half.
I wish it had been a little bit more detailed, but I'll tell you this.
Later, we're still at it, and he goes, no, we won 60 days ago. Fuck you.
By the way, Straight Talk says that Trump did release the Epstein file, so he says you're wrong on that.
Talk to me about that. Don't ever quote Straight Talk to me. Don't ever do that.
Well, the man is saying
straight up R word.
The man is saying you're wrong. The man saying,
I don't give a shit what Straight Talk says. I will listen to a lot of people. Straight Talk is one of the dumbest fucking people I've ever heard, including MAGA Reacts, about how we had to blow up the boat because it looked like a runner. Fuck you.
I do want to advise you that both Straight Talk and MAGA Reacts are watching right now.
I don't give a shit what they see. They're the dumbest fucking people I've ever talked to in my life.
What does Straight Talk say that's so dumb?
Fuck you, Tim. I'm not even going to answer that question.
The man has his own opinion. I mean, the man.
Foremost, he's said he's never told a lie. Just things he was misinformed on.
Well, he said that if Trump said something that didn't turn out to be true.
You got the light one. Full
but what he is saying, though, is if Trump didn't know what he was saying was not correct, it's not a lie.
We have the best intelligence in the world.
Yeah.
Tim, what are you fucking talking about?
Maybe Netanyahu has better intelligence. Maybe Tulsi got it wrong.
No. If we can't trust our advisors, which I don't even like Tulsi Gabbard, but if we can't trust what they're saying and our actual spies are telling us, and we just go off, I can feel it in my bones when this war is over. Fuck you.
But what about if when this war is over, we have guaranteed Iran does not get a nuclear bomb? Would you give Trump credit for that?
We're going to give Iran literally everything to end this war, Tim. So if they don't have a nuclear weapon, it will be exactly as it was 3 months ago.
No, let's say, for instance, we are able to negotiate them allowing us to come in and take out the uranium.
I don't believe it. I don't trust it. As he said, we won within 6 hours of the initial strike, and now it's 60 days later, 49 days later.
Is there anything he can do to make you feel a little bit better? Let's
He
just
got rid of the penny.
No, I'm saying, is there anything that he could do? Trump could do going forward that would bring you back around a little bit?
Nah, he already did the thing. He got rid of the penny.
There's nothing else he could do.
Said that farmers could own people, Tim. How am I supposed to respect somebody like that?
I mean, everybody makes a mistake, a slip of the tongue.
No, nobody else says farmers can own people like it was back in the 1700s.
What are you saying? Trump was trying to speak in terms of bringing back slavery?
Yes, he fucking said it. He absolutely fucking said it. And we talked about this like a year ago, Tim.
I remember. I don't know. It might have been a slip of the tongue.
You're bluffing.
No, I'm saying Trump sometimes speaks without thinking, for lack of a better term.
Every time, motherfucker.
You just hate the man.
100%.
He secured the border. Can he get credit for that? He secured the damn border. Can I get credit for that?
Nope. Because an EO is not actually closing the border. You know, if we had 100,000 more people on that border making sure to push people away, sure. But he hasn't added an extra dollar towards them. He's only added an extra $100 billion towards ICE. That is fucking with people that have been here for 30, 40 years, that are still going through the process. We can put all of that money towards judges and actually deal with the immigration problem. But no, we're just going to go towards fucking with random people that are saying, hey, you shouldn't attack random high schoolers.
Yeah, but that ain't
Do
what
you remember in Minnesota when they were tackling teenagers? Do you remember that?
But that's not exactly what ICE has been doing the whole time. You're picking the worst examples.
Now that they got fucked up. Now that they got told they can't do anything. But they were tackling teenagers because they had ultimate authority to do whatever they wanted. So no, I don't give him credit towards the border because he doesn't actually do anything to fix the problem. He just says, I signed an order saying it's closed, so it's closed.
The man also said the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., is so safe you can just walk down the street and go to dinner. He's lowered crime, Sherbert.
Can you even talk with that dick in your mouth with how much you fluffing?
I'm trying to get you to understand, if the president does something that's right by the American people, he should get credit for it.
But he lowered the tax incentive for billionaires instead of lowering the tax incentive for people that only make $50,000, $60,000 a year, let alone the less.
But what about?
No, I don't give him credit for the average person. I give him credit for the billionaires like he is.
Well, rich people are people too, right?
Maybe.
What is this, an eat the rich conversation? I mean, wealthy people. No, I mean, look.
Billionaires should exist, Tim.
How,
Once you have $500 million, you can't spend that money in the rest of your fucking life.
How do you respond to folks who suggest, I have never received a job from a poor person? So that's an incentive to, yeah, he was looking out for wealthy people, but that's where the jobs.
You've never worked for a person that had just started a business, have you?
No.
Or the people that say that have never worked for a place that just started a business that actually know what the ramifications are when shit doesn't go your way versus a billionaire.
Well, every rich person is not a billionaire, Sherbert. I think you're going all the way up to the top.
You're going off the billionaire standard versus the 100,000-aire versus the 60,000-aire. You're going after the charts that don't fucking matter. You're talking about Usher versus fucking anybody else that just made a first hit. Fuck you.
I'm gonna leave it at that. You've bashed me enough. You got motherfuckers in the comments saying everybody should talk to me this way. Sherbert, always a pleasure, except for this one time talking to you.
I love you, Tim. I can't handle the fluffing. And I know that's all you got towards me. because I'll talk about anything. I'll definitely go over the plus and positives of any particular situation and doctrine they want to go over. But when you're just saying, isn't there anything not for the PDO?
Well, there's no. But the man has his. The man is entitled to his. Wait, hold on. You can't call you can't call the damn president a pedo. He's entitled to his day in court.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. It's called freedom of speech, Tim.
You believe in
You're best friends with the most notorious pedo of the entire world.
innocent.
I'm gonna call you that.
That's why Straight Talk right now is saying you have zero credibility in the comments.
Straight Talk is the dumbest motherfucker you've ever had on your show, Tim. Don't quote him.
I gotta go.
You quote Jeremy, who went through an ayahuasca trip. To actually understand. The word you didn't understand the other day was ayahuasca.
What is that?
It's a drug that breaks your mind and actually lets you see things clearly.
Well,
You've never heard of ayahuasca? Tim?
no. It sounds like an Indian village in Illinois somewhere.
I mean, pretty close. But it is something that lets you break through your preconceived notions and see the world as it is.
Should have took that before I met my baby mama. I gotta go.
You should.
I gotta go. I'll leave it at that. An ayahuasca. All right.
Ayahuasca.
Appreciate it. Camp Ayahuasca, it is. Thank you. All right, moving on with the program. Tap the screen. Somebody said, Music Monster says, sounds like you believe everything he says. You're talking about Trump? No, we don't believe everything anybody says. I think there's nothing wrong with a healthy dose of questioning reality. E-commerce Straight Talk says, obviously Sherbert has ayahuasca for breakfast. Okay. Yo, Tim, I think it's long gone. I'm sorry, I just see your comment, CBOG Kush. Tap the screen, by the way. Smash that like button if you're watching us on YouTube. Helps out the algorithm. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody on this program. We're MAGA friendly. I get the difficulty of it. I want to give you a clip of what we were talking about earlier before we go to the next caller. But if you're watching us currently live on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, or Clapper, follow the program. We're here most weekdays. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, give us a sub. We are indeed here most weekdays. We are MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome on the program as well. MAGA are my preferred guests. We don't get as many MAGA, but we certainly enjoy talking to MAGA as well. So we don't block, ban, or censor. And if you are critical of the host, as you can see, we don't censor even that. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having a dinner with Q. Looking in, and Stick, you're going live afterwards. I may have to come to the after party, Stick. Most corrupt ever and an imbecile. I don't know if I'll say Trump is the most corrupt ever. I'll say it like this. Trump's presidency is faced with laws that didn't exist during the days of the founding fathers. So, I mean, if Trump did what George Washington did, it would be criminal. It wasn't criminal when George Washington did it. So, I mean, it's a different day and time. He's faced with a lot more. I mean, just like what Bill Clinton got impeached for, lying about getting his dick sucked. That would have been meaningless in the days of Abraham Lincoln. Would not have even been questioned. He could have just went and grabbed a few slaves and had them do that. So under Trump's administration, the rules have changed significantly. Looking in the comments, he'll go down as the best president in history, and Democrats like this loser or the phone are why. I don't think so. You're saying Trump will go down as the best president in history, and that will be because loser Democrats didn't like him? Do you know any other politician who was judged favorably because the other side disliked him? That has nothing to do with why you're judged well. You're judged well because of your accomplishments. It don't matter if 1 million people hate you. If you're getting the job done, that's what makes you get judged well. They got shit to do. What are you talking about? Because the Democrats hated him. That ain't got nothing to do with that. I would love our problems. What it says, I would love our problems were some secretary. I don't know what that means. Somebody in the comments is typing something wild. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen with Sexy Red. Good evening, Sexy.
Can I tell you something? I've been drinking, so I might be a little calmer. I won't tell you ugly ass stuff.
You actually getting better with alcohol, huh?
No. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You don't let a white man answer for us. You understand me? You don't let a white man answer for us. No white man should tell us what slavery was. Because let me break this shit down. He didn't even know who even abolished slavery first. It was Mexico.
What do you mean?
And even though it was Mexico, and then there was Haitians. See, motherfuckers, I'm so done with cornball motherfuckers like you that allow a white man to talk on us.
What the hell are you talking about? White people are historians. There are plenty of white historians too.
Tim.
What are you talking about?
You know what, Tim? I'm so done with you. I'm so damn done with you. You're such a fucking lame brain oxymoron. You love your snow roaches that bad that you.
This literally sounds like the last phone call I had with my ex-wife. Look,
because let me tell you something. For one, the white man should never. You should never ask a white man what we should go vote for. Like, who the fudge is he?
There wasn't a white man. This is a conversation for everybody.
Is white.
What?
Okay.
What?
Do you see how they're reporting?
Yeah, I do see it.
That's reporting. They're doing it. And I thought you was all about freedom of speech, right?
Well, I can't control the folks watching the show, but right now you haven't broken any rules, and yeah, people are reporting.
Yeah, and they're reporting.
Yeah.
That's your white friends that you like. So
well, you said some
put you in the tree, and I haven't said nothing bad. I've been saying the truth. That what the Mexicans abolished slavery. They saved a lot of brothers and sisters, and then the white man went over there and torched the whole community, and the Mexicans still didn't give them back. See, people don't even know real history. And you let a white man come over here. You let the white man come and talk for it. Say, yeah, black men and black women should vote for the Republicans.
In the comments, Straight Talk says, please listen to this woman and remember she votes like you do. So he is indicating that listening to you might make folks turn off to liberals.
You know what turns off to liberal is the racism. We even have on the far left, we have racist people, the white leftists that swore up and down that the black woman was a Zionist, and oh my gosh, she was for G-side, and oh my gosh, she's going to be the worst of the worst. Oh, you don't think I don't talk shit about them? You don't think I don't talk shit about them? Oh, I go off on them. Because see, it was all about white privilege. They voted for who? Oh, the third party, because the third party would do something so better. They're never going to be a third party president because it's only two parties. See, and the two-party system. See, that's what I cannot stand. Irrelevant motherfucker, the white man that always assumes what's better for black and brown
It ain't got
people.
nothing. I'm going to ask you a question I've asked you many times, but I guess I'll have to ask it again based on what you said. You ever thought that it had nothing to do with any of the stuff you're saying? It was just the last person was a bad candidate? You ever thought?
You know what, Tim?
I mean, serious. It could.
You know what, though? But you put Maya Trump with a white gap-ass pussy all over the damn place. I guarantee you'll be saying, oh, she's such a good girl. Oh, I like her.
What are you talking about?
But yeah, you like your uncooked, but God.
I tend to think
Actually, she wasn't bad. She was not bad. She was one of the best VPs because she passed a lot. She broke the ties a lot. See, that's what you guys don't even comprehend. See how they're reporting?
Yeah, I see. Well, I'll tell you this. Kamala Harris did not interview well. She didn't go on shows.
She did interview well. But you know what happened though, Tim? She was talking proper. She was talking like she had some common sense. She was talking like she was educated. Unfortunately, half these mofos in office, the white man, you gotta talk like you like it says gay. Well, you know, you have to put one block here. You have to put one block here. Oh, it's gonna help you a lot because that's what they do. You have to you gotta go to like the end of the earth and talk like a 2-year-old for these maggots. You feel what I'm saying?
I just think that even amongst the black community, she didn't come across. She didn't even energize the black vote.
The black men that voted for Trump, they didn't want a black woman in office. Do you know why? Because they have self-hate. The black men did not want a black woman in office because the black women are more educated than the black men. You need to stop your bullshit right now. Because I'm drinking right now. If I was over there, me and you'd be going to DV all the way. Let's keep it a book. A lot of little like AJ and all them. Oh, God forbid. Oh, it wasn't a white woman because they'll suck her ass. If it was a white woman, they'll vote for her.
I think what
a black woman stepped up and did more for this damn country than a white man ever did. Oh, no, it's okay. She's not good enough. She's just a black woman. Oh, she's not even black enough. Oh, she's Indian. Oh, I heard it all. That was the white liberals and all fucked up black men.
I think what you're doing is you're failing to hold her accountable for the fact that she could not even energize her own people. You're blaming everybody else but the candidate.
Hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on. Now I'm gonna roast your black ass. You're gonna lose a couple of pounds fucking with me. You understand me? Let me tell you something with your bold jigger looking, cock looking ass. Let me tell you something. 67% of Mexicans voted for her. See, us black and brown folks, we did listen to her. Over 90% of black women voted for her. 89% of our black men voted for her. So miss me with the bullshit.
I don't think, let me tell you something. I don't think most of Kamala Harris people I don't think most of those millions of people voting for Kamala Harris were voting for Kamala Harris. They actually were voting against Trump. I think probably a good percentage of Kamala Harris voters were anti-Trumps. I mean, my guess is there were enough people that dislike Trump that even if you ran a dog against President Trump, at least probably 20 to 30 million people would have voted for the dog. It was just that much hatred towards Trump. So I don't think all the Kamala Harris voters were for her, but the app took down, we have gotten censored by TikTok because of Gangsta Grandma. So what ends up happening is it makes TikTok go down and they can't, so they lose audio. So give me a second. I'll bring TikTok back up and we'll just do it as a what do you call it? A talk only show for TikTok. All the other apps you won't see any difference, but I'll bring it back up just to let folks on TikTok know what happened. It always happens with Gangsta Grandma. Just tell you, but look at in the comments. I guess I have to do a lot more comments. People like her on why America cannot be great again. Well, when you say people like, you're talking about my last caller, when you say people like her, why America can't be great again, it's going to lead to that same question over and over again. What was great America like? When was America great is what's going to keep coming up. You got to stop bringing her up, says Alter Ego. I wish I could control the passion she has for language. I mean, she's kind of like Trump. She's going to say whatever she wants to say, no matter how you advise her. Gangsta Grandma is really like Trump. But for folks watching, that's exactly what happened. Gangsta Grandma got the part of the show taken down where you can take callers. So we're temporarily banned from taking callers for a day or so. And the show's been going on long enough that I'm not going to go to the backup page. But that's what happened. Gangsta Grandma, folks favor what she's saying, but the way she says it, the censorship on TikTok is just too great to sustain it. TikTok will take you down if you say, and not to mention, as Gangsta Grandma did rightfully point out, people are reporting her now. She has a list of folks that like her. She has a list of folks that do not like her. So when she comes on, people start reporting her. I can't pretend like that's not happening because I've received advices and warnings on her when I knew she wasn't doing anything or she hadn't said anything yet. So it is what it is. It's hard to run a program where we don't block, ban, or censor when the apps do. So looking in the comments, by the way, tap the screen on YouTube as well. He'll go down as somebody still saying he'll go down as the best president. Let me go back to the box or better yet to the comments and refresh it. Those people who are reporting her is messing up your show. Nothing I can do about that. Facts, Kamala was set up to fail given the minimal time to campaign. She did well under the circumstances, was campaigning from 2020's law. I agree with that. I agree that a lot of Kamala Harris's failure to win should be blamed on Biden. It should be blamed. Biden did not help her by taking so long to step down. He had a poor debate performance. I think it was June 27th. He didn't announce he was dropping out until well into August. So for a couple more months, so she could have had from June, well, July, I guess, till November to run. And still, that's a small period of time. Because a lot of folks knew Biden was not capable long before that. In fact, I'll say it like this. When Biden had that poor debate performance on July 27th, it was really a lead-in to see how well he was going to do. Because people already were like, we're gonna watch this to see if he actually is capable or not. Because it was already plenty of folks saying this guy's not capable of doing another term. And when Biden went out there to debate with Trump, the bar was so low for President Biden that all he had to do was look dignified and speak just speak that shows he's conscious. All you need to do is be within your faculties. And he failed at doing that. The bar was pretty low for Biden, though. All you had to do is just come out here and talk like you know what's going on and debate Trump. And he failed at doing that. So Biden gets a lot to blame for that. Can you come up anyway but TikTok? What do you mean by that, freedom fighter? I don't get that. No one else is allowed to speak like her or they would be banned, but somehow she gets away with it. Bullshit. You didn't just hear Sherbert going off? Bullshit. Plenty of people speak like, not as bad as her, but pretty close. Why no one can use her language or rant her racism, but she does. Why? You ain't heard. You must be kind of new to the show, Mike, because I've had people on here blaming Jews for stuff. I've had folks on here saying all kinds of crazy stuff about black people. I've had folks on here saying women shouldn't have the right to vote. We've had some pretty strong folks on the right as well. Now, once Trump became president again, because I was criticizing Biden pretty heavy during his term. So much so folks was calling me MAGA because I was talking about his economy and talking about the failures he had on the border. And at that time, I had far, far more MAGA viewers than I do now. Because once Trump became president, unlike MAGA, I'm not going to continue criticizing the previous guy. I'm going to talk about what the current guy is doing. Whereas MAGA, but Biden type shit. We don't do that here. If Trump is succeeding, we give him credit. If he's not, we criticize him. So once you started criticizing Trump, the MAGA viewers left. But when I had more MAGA viewers, I let them speak, and you're talking about saying things that are questionable, racist. They were doing it. They were saying some pretty horrible things. And I had folks in the comments talking about it. So Gangsta Grandma just throws out a lot of profanity, but yeah, we let people speak. Tim, you are softer on orange, something, or I guess you're talking about Trump. You're saying I'm softer on Trump than I was on Biden. In what way? I let you have to tell me what way. Facts. Travis, Tennessee is gorgeous. Okay, Rubio sold out too. Yeah, I agree with that. Salty has TDS, Trump devotion syndrome. Yikes. Looking in the comments here, we are open on Instagram, Substack, and Clapper. So if you do want to call in for the time we're still up here, because the hat and mustache TikTok cap shit is almost dinner time. But anyway, support the program if you will. You never say Trump sucks. I never said Biden sucked. Point out the flaws. How many times have I said President Trump's mouth is guaranteed he won't succeed in many areas? I push back when folks claim he's the greatest president in history. I push back when folks say Trump ain't never said anything racist or never done anything racist. Most of the things you guys complain about that Trump has did, we hold shows on it. Up to and including him posting pictures of the Obamas as monkeys and all that shit. Biden hog-tied in the back of a pickup truck. We've done shows on all of that. We hold Trump accountable. I don't know what you're talking about. We just don't bash him every single sentence like you might want. The next president will be the former astronaut and veteran Mark Kelly. I like Senator Mark Kelly. I really do like Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona. I like him. I would have no problem with that. I really like that guy. I've said it many times that the next choice for the Democrat Party should be a straight white Christian male. The woke stuff hurt the Democrat Party. And I'm not saying I'm totally against the woke stuff. There's plenty of things that are, to me, that are categorized as woke that just really amounts to homophobia and sexism and racism. But I do believe in this divisive environment, you kind of gotta give and take. I think the Democrat Party for this time should go with a straight white Christian male. I mean, the transgender shit is as ridiculous as I personally believe it is, considering how few transgender there are. It really was used as a weapon against the Democrat Party. I just had somebody a minute ago say that I had somebody a minute ago suggest that they voted against their own union because they wanted to protect the union members' safety in restrooms. So they voted for Trump, who's anti-union, because he was going to get rid of trans entering bathrooms. I mean, so that really was used as a weapon against the Democrats. Marco Rubio will more than likely be the next president of the United States. For Democrats, Kamala Harris is polling highest with Gavin Newsom right behind her. I don't think Kamala Harris is going to run, and I hope she doesn't. I don't think Kamala Harris is going to run. Gavin Newsom probably would be a good choice for Democrats. I think he could be a good choice for Democrats. Yeah, they're going to bring up the antics of California. Yeah. But at the same time, you don't think people are going to bring up, if Rubio or Vance runs, the antics of Trump? They're going to bring up what Trump did. I think Gavin Newsom probably is the strongest candidate for the Democrat Party right now. We'll go back to the box on Instagram. We'll see if we can make it happen with MAGA Reacts. He was sick, Tim. Who was sick? You talking about Biden during the debate? Well, if Biden was sick during the debate, he shouldn't have went out there. He should have been smart enough to know the spotlight's going to be on me for my cognitive health more than it ever has on any candidate. If you're not 100%, don't go out there. Otherwise, you look like Nixon in the Kennedy debate, sweating and shit like that. Don't go out there. You're not going to lose any votes if you're Biden by refusing to debate Trump. Trump talks all over you. Trump talks about people eating cats and dogs and says all kinds of wild shit. If Biden had simply said, at this time, I no longer see any value in debating my opponent, he's going to say a bunch of things that are not true. His supporters are not going to vote for me no matter what. I see it as a waste of time. My focus is on finishing up my term and ensuring that I'm here for you come January. All he had to do was release that statement. Democrats are not going any damn where. And MAGA wasn't going to vote for him no matter how well he performed. I believe he should have done that. If he's sick, why go out there? MAGA Reacts, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right, hold on. I'm getting an echo. Give me 1 second.
Okay, we'll give you a second. Still. Yeah, but if Biden was sick, you don't go out there and try to wing it at 80.
This thing is buggy. You might have to drop me and pick me up again.
Okay.
I'm hearing you double for some reason.
All right, go ahead and drop, and then we'll come back to you. Hanson Conservative says there's a lot more than you think. What do you mean by that? Why are you always picking on poor conservative and Republican people? In what way are we picking on poor conservative and Republican people? I don't get what you mean by that. MAGA Reacts, just for some reason got the thing stuck here. They would have dragged him for that too. Stop it. I think Miss Mobetta, yes, some folks would have dragged Biden for not going out to debate with Trump. But I don't think the Clooney's and the deep liberals would have done it. But when he went out there and performed the way he did, now you got folks who are absolutely wanting to vote for you, like you ain't it. I think more folks dragged him for going out there like the way he did. So I think it was actually worse by him doing that. That's my point. Let's try it again with MAGA Reacts. So why are they still talking about this? It's something that's going, shit, they'll be talking about it for 20, 30 years. I mean, like I just mentioned, the debate between Nixon and Kennedy. Poor debate performances go down in history. Just like when Ronald Reagan told Mondale, I won't let your youth and inexperience Something like that. He said that poor debate performances are forever remembered. Trump, they're eating cats and dogs. That's part of Trump's debate performance that will be remembered for decades, long after he's gone. Just like them having to mute the mic of a president because he won't stop talking. That's another debate performance of Trump that'll never be forgotten. So Biden going out there and the way he acted, yeah, it'll be remembered. It will be remembered. We need more youthful people. We need more youthful people running, no more geriatrics, please. You want youthful people to run? You need more youthful people to vote. Fact is, the older the voter, the more likely they are to vote. Now, I'm a strong proponent of compulsory voting. Just like the selective service, I believe that once you turn 18, by law, you should be required to answer at the ballot box. You don't have to vote for anybody. You can vote present like you used to do in schools. But come election time, you have to acknowledge it. You can vote for one of the candidates or you can check present, but you have to do your civic duty. I believe that's what the law should be. The right would be adamantly against that because higher voter turnout is not good for them. But I believe that you should have to vote. Tossin says Tossin is too unstable to join. We'll try it with Miss Mobetta. Half the time they don't even care about voting. Yeah, so you're not going to get youthful politicians when the youth don't vote. The Gen X and the baby boomers vote very reliably. So they're going to vote for people that don't went through shit like we don't went through. We're not going to, most of us ain't going to vote for somebody that's 25 or 30 years old. Mr. Mobetta, good evening. Looking good. Good evening to you.
Sorry your show got kicked again. But my thing is, anybody that is on these apps, the internet is undefeated, number one. And if you're too weak to hear what you're hearing, go find something else to do with your time. Stop reporting. That's corny as fuck.
It only happens on TikTok. I don't think you can even report.
That shit is corny. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't even think you can do that on the other apps. TikTok, I don't know why their censorship is so low.
People aren't doing it. People aren't reporting. Only over there on TikTok, you got a bunch of weak ass people over there. Like, listen, we're gonna hear stuff every day that we don't like. And that, especially being on these apps, you're gonna hear stuff every day that you do not like.
Yeah, and real quick in the comments, Sanaya, whatever, says I can see that, but my mom Donnie proves that younger voters are much more there. Well, the problem is though, Mom Donnie is a one-off. Out of all the mayors and stuff in America, Mom Donnie is not common by any stretch. I mean, you have folks who actually are the exception, not the rule. Mamdani is not the norm. He got lucky at a time when the politicians leaving in New York was corrupt and they weren't leaning Democrat or Republican rather. So Mamdani got lucky. He just got through, but that ain't the norm. So
now that same point that you made is the same thing that happened with Kamala, because I need you to stop saying that she was a bad candidate. She wasn't a bad candidate. It was bad timing. It was bad timing. So, and not only that, look who she's running against. You're running against a den of thieves. What do you think? Crooks and thieves and everything else. What do you think is going to happen?
What do you mean by running against a den of thieves?
Look, our president is a convicted felon.
Yeah.
For thievery. That's not. I'm not making that up. That's
No.
in the book.
Well, they claim those are trumped up charges, though, Miss Mobetta.
Of course they did, but they didn't say that they weren't true.
Yeah. Well, did they not say that?
Yes, they did find him guilty. They have all kind of evidence. That's the only way they can find him.
Yeah, because
He was convicted by his peers.
yeah. Did you hear E. Jean Carroll? You know, she won the $80-some-odd million out of Trump. Apparently, Trump is still fighting that to get it to the Supreme Court. He's trying to fight it on the grounds that immunity means he cannot, because you know the Supreme Court gave him immunity while he's president. So now his lawyers are trying to say that immunity should also mean you can't be sued while you're president. So he's trying to get some kind of stay to prevent from paying E. Jean Carroll.
Well, that's the only reason why he ran is to get his stay out of jail. That was his get out of jail free card.
It worked.
Because his ass was guilty as sin.
It worked. It definitely worked. So, I mean, the guy is a winner, at least in terms of his own business. He is a winner.
Oh, absolutely. Because, again, he's staying out of jail. He's in a position where he didn't have to expose himself with those e-files. We all know what's in them. I know. I've read them. I've read a lot of them.
Wow.
It's too many to read them all. But the ones that I've read, guess whose name was in it?
The president.
Guess whose was it?
So let me ask you, in regards to what the show was about, did you see the Stephen A. Smith clip I played earlier?
No, I missed that.
I want you, then you definitely need to see this, because I want to get your opinion on this, which is why you've seen the Blacks for Trump page on my screen. But I want you to hear this. I want to get your opinion on it. If I can find it. Shit, maybe I've lost it. There we go. Let me take it back to where it's supposed to be, because this is what we're talking about.
I wish for one election that every black person would vote Republican. Oh, what? How can you say that? I said, it's simple. Since 1964, the black folks, we have been giving our vote to the Democratic Party at an exorbitant rate. Therefore, they know they got our vote, and they don't have to cater to us as much as we need them to. The Republicans know they'll never get our vote, so they don't give a damn about us. And as a result, we're the only community in America devoid of representation, which is why we're considered disenfranchised.
What do you think? You think he has a point?
So my question would be, why would you vote Republican then? Why wouldn't you go to the people that are in your party that's supposed to be your so-called representatives and work with them? When I tell you step and fetch it is him. Out of all the black men that I've heard, now listen, I don't get me wrong, you vote for your best interest. Mm-hmm. You vote for your best interest, but he keeps saying like, just vote Republican because the Democrats have done nothing for you. First of all, he's at a whole different financial status as a lot of the black people and do vote Republican and stuff is. So he's not speaking to the masses here, and that's why nobody's respecting what he said.
Well, some people are, because
of course.
You heard him say that because we always vote Democrat, they're not doing anything to earn. Do you think the Democrat Party is working hard to earn our votes?
The Democrat Party is working correctly to do our votes, to get our votes.
Explain that. Explain that.
When you see the campaigns and stuff that's coming out from the Republican side, they come out throwing mud right off the gate.
Wait. Say that again. Say that again.
So the Republican, they fight dirty. This regime, especially this last regime, they fight dirty. Whether I don't care whether they're lying or making demonizing people and stuff. They don't fight fair. The Democrats usually go in fighting fair, which puts us on a losing end, because that's why I said even with Kamala, look who she was fighting against. You fighting against people that don't give a damn. They don't really even care about their own people. They just need to vote.
Yeah, but they're going to say that the Democrats fight dirty as well. They're going to say the Democrats tried to impeach Trump and Russian collusion.
They had evidence to impeach him, Tim. Come on now.
No, they didn't. That's not true. Robert Mueller said the late Robert Mueller said, if there was evidence to impeach or to convict Trump of Russian collusion, I would do it. If there was evidence to exonerate him, I would. But he looked into that for a couple of years and came back and said, there's not enough there to convict Trump.
Who was Robert Mueller to Trump?
He was the head of he was a former FBI director, the one that just died.
I know, under who?
Okay, so what are you saying? Because
let's not pretend like that stuff it doesn't happen when it comes to cronyism and different things like that, and payola and all kinds of stuff. Like let's not pretend.
What are you saying? Robert Mueller was corrupt?
Huh?
Are you saying Robert Mueller was corrupt?
I'm sure he was. Like I said, most politicians are. Did y'all not say that?
Robert Mueller, you think he let Trump off?
Possibly. No, I can't attest to that. That I'm gonna say attest to it.
You're the first I've heard say that, because Trump hated the guy.
Stephen A. is saying, as far as what he is saying, he's speaking as if he came really from the trenches. He's been in his position in a long time where he was making a lot of money. He's been making a lot of money. How many times can he actually say that I went into these Democratic areas and tried to work with these people because my peoples and people like me need X, Y, Z? How many times can he say he did that?
Well, but keep in mind, Trump did, unlike most Republican politicians, he did reach out to African Americans and show up in some. I mean, he went to some African American neighborhoods and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
when he went to Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, and I mean, he went to a few places.
And he paid them real nice for that.
Well, that's better than what the other Republicans have done.
No, it ain't. Not all money is good money, Tim.
I don't disagree with that.
Listen, you know why? Because your mom's has set that ass up and she properly gassed up. Stop playing. That stuff is not just cliche.
I don't know. So you don't think Trump reached out to blacks at all?
Oh, I'm sure he has. There's plenty. It's a few of those black guys and stuff voted for him. They have black is all over the place. Of course they do. But however, what I need them to do is instead of them constantly shooting, figuratively speaking, at the Democratic Party, saying we're on the plantation, point out to what the plantation is and tell me what more has he done for you as this current president than anybody else has done. And they still have yet to answer that question.
That's a good question. I don't have even a devil's advocate answer for that. So I don't have it. I mean, they do say that
I want to know what this plantation that they speak of. I have people on friends, so-called friends that are blagger. Like, oh, you're on a plantation. What does this plantation exist of?
Well, the plantation means you're a slave to the Democrat Party, where you're going to vote for them no matter what they do.
So that MAGA's not a cult then, huh?
Well, I'm just saying that's.
And then when it came to Kamala, they bought into this notion that she was locking up black people. So I guess the black people she was locking up, they were all innocent. Every black person. First of all, she was an attorney general.
Yeah.
They have a job to do. When she was attorney general, weed and shit that they got locked up for was not legal, and in some places it still isn't.
Yeah, no, I don't buy into the whole Joe Biden crime bill and Kamala Harris locking up blacks, because my pushback is always the same. If what they did was so wrong, show me all the Republicans that were against it. I mean, because
that's my thing. That's what I'm saying. Point out to me if being on the Democratic in the Democratic Party or being a liberal or whatever is plantation. Point out the parts of the plantation that you feel has got us held back. I just need to know. That's it.
Well, I'll give you one. In the comments, conservative says, if you vote for a party that doesn't work for you, you're on a plantation Democrat. So he's saying the Democrats are voting for a party that does nothing for them. Blacks are voting for the Democrats.
What's the Republicans doing? They got us paying high prices on every fucking thing right now. So what are they talking about? Housing. Prices of housing is up. Taxes is up. Gas is up. Groceries is up. Everything we can name right now is up. So what is the Republican Party doing for you?
But you said they got the border closed.
That border is never closed. It's still open. And to go on those numbers and to go, let's talk about the deportations. How long do you know those people that they've been going after have been here in this country?
Oh, some of them have been in the country most of their life.
It's all they know. It's all they know. So I don't buy into that bullshit about the border being closed either. And not only that, when a lot of these migrants were coming over here during the pandemic, it was the Republican, instead of them sending them back down to the border, they sent them to other states and shit. Why they didn't send them back?
Well,
using it as political gain. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, the border thing is complicated. I mean, at the end of the day, folks are going to suggest, one side says we need them here for workers, and they're just trying to better their lives. The other side says, listen, we're a nation of laws. If they violated the law, it is what it is. This is what they're saying.
Okay, Lord. How many people have been unalived, unlawfully since this regime has taken over?
What are you saying?
Boats being blown up, all kinds of shit going on. Tim, you talk about not giving people health care and stuff like that, but you got $1 billion. Y'all want $1 billion to continue building this ballroom that was supposed to be privately funded?
I don't have an answer for that.
To Argentina, so they can have a better livelihood. And what's happening here with our country with people again? With they took public assistance, food stamps, Medicaid, and all kinds of stuff away from people who actually need it.
I don't have an answer for that. And I'll tell you something. I wish MAGA did discuss that more, because that doesn't make sense. That
they don't discuss stuff like that. They don't discuss the importance of stuff when it comes to American people, and then they want to say you're anti-American when you speak on the Iran and conflict and stuff that we inserted ourselves in. It's not that we're over there fighting something that has something to do with us. We inserted ourselves because Trump's pimp, a.k.a. Bibi, told him, get your ass over here and fight. We don't care what it costs your citizens. Guess who's paying for that, y'all? We are.
How about this, though? Burning 47 on YouTube talking about the Trump administration. He says 2025, last year, was a good year. Cheap gas, low inflation. Iran is the problem. Pay attention to the current event. So he's saying that Trump was doing a good job until Iran became a problem.
That's what I got to say to that shit. Iran wasn't a problem for the United States.
Well, Trump said they were about to not only
Bibi said it. Trump ain't say shit. Bibi said it, and then Trump regurgitates the shit.
Okay, well, he regurgitated it to the American people that they were about to develop a nuclear bomb and they were going to use it on us.
Bibi been saying that for the last 30 years, and they still ain't come up with it yet.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get this nuclear bomb going? I'm just saying.
But in the comments, even on Clapper, Dan the Man said it had to be done. Some folks believe what Trump did, while unpopular, it had to be done.
Because they think that's tough. Oh, it's tough. I want y'all to keep that same ass energy when he get his old sleeping ass out of office, and we're gonna be so messed up in this piece trying to get stuff back together like it happened before. It took a Democrat to come in and fix the recession. That Trump was the last recession we had was under him, and it took a Democrat to come in there and fix it. That's what happens all the time, and they're in denial about this shit happening. Don't take my word for it. It's on there. You can go online and look at the numbers. The 10 of the last 11 recessions were done by a Republican. Trump was being the last one.
Well, but this one here, had we not attacked Iran, perhaps we would not be dealing with this. I mean, it does cost money to engage in war.
A lot of money.
Oh.
A lot of money. You see, Pete Keksberg went and tried to get $200 billion to talk about they need more. You need more for what? First of all, y'all said it was obliterated. Number one, did they not say that last June?
Yeah.
That it was obliterated. Then Trump said we won. If we won, what do you need money for more for? It's not real's war.
Well, because President Trump is talking about Cuba next and things like Cuba. I mean, my guess is Trump wants more money for the military because he's going to be using the military on additional countries soon. So I don't think he's going to stop after Iran.
Well, you know what I see in this instance? We have a weak Congress. Our Congress is weak as fuck. Mike Clapper Johnson, what's his name? Mike Clapper Johnson? Grinder, excuse me.
Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
Mike Grinder, he's weak. They're all weak when it comes to him. So I don't know what he has on them or how afraid of him he is, but they're afraid of him, and which makes them weak. And they keep calling somebody else weak. They're always projecting, the Democrats are weak. The Democrats are weak. Yeah, okay, Democrats are weak, but y'all allowing this man to move without guardrails.
I don't think they're afraid of Mike Johnson. I think it's President Trump.
He's afraid of Trump.
Yeah, Trump is the one
he doesn't realize that he's Trump's boss. He don't realize that.
Yeah, Johnson is just doing Trump's bidding, so they're not afraid of Johnson. Yeah, so I gotta move it on, Miss Mobetta, though. But this is the world we live in. I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, sadly,
Yeah.
listen, and people keep talking, all of that crap out. Oh, stop! Like, what's his name? Dookie Duke Vader. That was yesterday. Oh, stop crying. That's all. The whole time he was up on your panel, he cried the whole fucking time. So, stop crying about gas. Get your ass in there. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting on my packages. Go in there and get my packages together so I can get my shit. He was I swear, like, those right there,
Mr. Mobetta, you're talking about Black MAGA. I appreciate you coming through. Thank you.
They are the worst.
All right, I'll leave it at that. Thanks. Go ahead and drop. I'll move it on. In the comments, thank you. Appreciate it. In the comments, it says, "But they will do for what is it? But what they do for us in our best interest. That's what they don't get. I don't understand that." Continuing on, tap the screen. By the way, if you're watching on TikTok, if you will, help your boy out with the hat mustache TikTok cap goals. Tomorrow we'll be on the backup page where we can take callers and things like that. This page will be down for a day, I think, or something like that. Gangsta Grandma, courtesy Gangsta Grandma, they banned the page from taking callers for a day or so. So if you follow us, we will be on live tomorrow. The backup page is the Handsome Liberal with the final L missing. So the Handsome Liberal. Same, but everything else will be the same. All the other platforms will be the exact same as they are now. So if you favor this type of uncensored dialogue from all sides of the aisle, follow the program if you're currently watching us on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, or Clapper, and give us a give us a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Follow the program if you're watching on the others. Didn't you just get banned on that page? Yeah, it's only for a short time, Shanti. So that other page is back up. The bans are really short, but it's from either her saying, it's always Gangsta Grandma, so I'm not even gonna pretend like otherwise, but it's either from her saying things that AI catches or from folks not liking her and reporting her. It's almost always from Gangsta Grandma. Just nobody else. Democrats are always about money. Trump is about safety and security. Really? You don't think Trump is about money? How do you get that one? And how do you get that Trump is about safety and security? I'm trying to think. I know Trump. First of all, I'll say this. I don't think getting us out of NATO is in the best interest of America's safety or security. So you and I kind of disagree on that one. I suppose you're trying to use safety and security from a standpoint of him sending the National Guard in different cities to lower crime or something like that. I don't know where you're getting the safety and security part from. But the idea that Democrats are about money and that Trump is not, that don't make any sense to me. I think even when we take into consideration the quote-unquote Biden crime family versus how much the Trump children are making, how do you get that Trump is not about money? Now, on YouTube, I have a poll question. Was the Iran war necessary? A couple dozen folks have voted so far, a little bit more than a couple dozen. 71% says no, the war was not necessary. 29% says yes, it was. What does NATO do for America? Asked Melissa Kay. They responded to our cry for help after September 11th. How soon we forget. Remember, when it comes to September 11th, you often hear the phrase, never forget. Well, why not? Why are you forgetting the people that helped you? People that died. People that literally died on our behalf fighting for justice after September 11th. We didn't do that alone. A lot of other nations participated. And I'll tell you one nation that did not help us after September 11th, Israel. Israel was not involved in any of that shit. So keep that in mind. In fact, I believe, and somebody in the comments, Arnita says Mexico helped too. I'll also tell you this, threatening to take Greenland, which is owned by Denmark. Denmark had the highest amount of casualties per capita in regards to helping us with the Iran-Iraq wars after September 11th. They suffered the most losses per capita than any other country. And we're repaying them by telling them NATO ain't shit and we want to take Greenland from them. Talk about a slap in the face. We're saying that France owes us for what we did for France after World War II some 70 odd years ago. Yet the nations that helped us out after September 11, which is only 25 years ago this year, we've already forgot that. That makes us look very ungrateful. I would also submit this to you. When President Trump is talking about how much we've helped other nations and how much we've done for other nations and how much money we've given them and given NATO and all of this shit as a reason to demand they do something for us, understand that all of that stuff Trump is bragging about that we did happen under other presidents. If Trump was president, most of that stuff would not have happened. He would not have authorized America to give none of that stuff. Trump would have been trying to cash in and deny him for all of the stuff he's trying to cash in on, the stuff he himself as president would not have done. So understand that, because you can see how he's governing now. He wouldn't have done it. You can see how he started talking about the Ukraine should pay for the weapons we giving him out. He wouldn't have done any of that. So he's coming along and trying to cash in on what more generous presidents in our past have done for European nations and NATO member nations, stuff that he would not have done. And I think the NATO member nations realize that. Looking in the comments, what have you done for me lately, says Blue One Banks. Yeah, that's exactly a good way of putting it. Trump's all about the money, says Dan the Man. I agree with that. 15-year U.S. Army Airborne Ranger veteran. Dan, you are indeed the man. Thank you for your service indeed. Let me try to bring up another caller if we can. We're on Instagram, TikTok, or Instagram, Substack, and Clapper. We can bring up callers, just not on YouTube right now. And that's what it was created for, is so that we were having so much problems with TikTok during the time when Congress said that China had to sell TikTok. So we wanted to find other apps and we found them. So the handsome liberal across all platforms, and it doesn't cost any money for my viewers to understand. You can come up live. It doesn't cost any money. But if you got the Clapper app, Substack app, or Instagram, all under the same name, the handsome liberal, you can come up live on those as well. NATO ain't shit. And we own Greenland. We also own Europe if we want it. And we also own Mexico, Canada. Anybody we want to own, we own them, says K-Dog. That ain't Hitler-like at all. That ain't Stalin-like at all. Wow. Just own every fucking body, huh? I don't hear any colonization in that. Let me go back to the box. Jesus Christ. Talk about a bad neighbor. Let me try it again with Magary Axe. Wow, he said we owed everybody. How you join on Substack? Magary Axe, can you hear me this time?
Yeah, I can always hear you. It just doubled.
Okay.
It was an echo last time.
Is it still doing it?
No, we're good.
Okay.
I had you playing on YouTube and Instagram, and YouTube wouldn't shut off.
Okay, fair enough. So, Stephen A. Smith, you've heard the clip. Do you agree with that? Now, I know you're not a black man, and I know Gangsta Grandma does not agree with me asking black people, non-blacks, to speak on this subject. But I'm going to ask you, do you agree with Stephen A. Smith?
Well, now it's doubling again. I agree with him, because even if Republicans do nothing for you, what's the hell are doing this?
Your audio's going, now you're going in and out from the mics. Repeat that. Yeah, we're gonna probably have to end up dropping him because he's.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you on Clapper.
All right, go ahead and drop. All right, fair enough. But he's African, Tim. Yes, he is African. Alter ego. He is what, Egyptian? Is he Egyptian? So he is African. Looking in the comments here, what does that say?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead and drop though, because you're going in and out.
Wait, can you hear me now, or am I good now?
I can hear you now, but we're not guaranteed you're going to stay that way. Yeah, you're going in and out.
Yeah, but Can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you, but is it going to work for a conversation? Yeah, you're like delaying and everything. Just go ahead and drop. Go ahead and drop. Because it's not even giving me the symbol for doing it. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. Yeah, Instagram is acting weird with this. And I'll read a couple comments. He ain't talking about shit anyway, says Miss Mobetta. Miss Mobetta, that was mean. That was really fucking mean. He ain't talking about shit anyway. Why isn't it? I don't see where. Yeah, it doesn't give me Instagram. Okay, there we go. All right, now I found it. All right, so we went ahead and dropped him. And Rod says, no, she's right. No, we want to hear from him. I'm dating a woman who don't cook. What did I just do here? I'm dating a woman who don't cook and clean.
It worked fine because I think I knew what was wrong.
What happened?
I requested twice, and when you accepted me, it connected you twice. So I was getting like 2 connections at once.
Okay.
So I switched phones, and now we're accepted only once.
Okay. So, that happened over here because the minute I dropped you, it brought you back up again. So that's really weird. All right. So, yeah. Instagram
accepted me a 3rd time or something.
Yeah, Instagram does some weird shit. So you do agree with Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, because even if Republicans do nothing for you, the Democrats are going to be like, "Oh shit, we better start treating you better, so you don't stay voting for Republicans."
Yeah, but
then hey, you never know. If Republicans, see that this could be a permanent thing, they'll start doing things that help you guys out.
I don't know. I got a point.
We did a lot of things that helps black people out, including reducing prison sentences, so a lot of people are locked up.
I haven't, something, I heard MAGA say that, like you're MAGA. I've heard some of the right folks say that Trump reduced prison sentences. In the black community, you don't hear none. I do not hear people in the black community bragging about all of these folks that got their prison sentences reduced that the right is bragging about. I haven't heard that this happened.
I know at least 2, like a friend of a friend, and 1 that's like a straight up friend. He's not black, he's Spanish, but still person of color.
How was it done? By pardons, or what did he do? What kind of legislation was passed?
Just if you're well behaved, you got your time cut off. You got your punishment reduced. Whatever it is your punishment was, it got reduced by a few, like 2 to 3 years because of Trump.
So in other words, and I see Popel in the comments said, why don't he do something so they don't end up in prison in the first place? And by the way, LTX, thank you for the hat and mustache. A few of you folks are still showing the program some love. Thank you there, LTX, for the hat and mustache. So what he did, according to what you're saying, is that really wasn't for people of color. That was for everybody.
Yeah, it's for everybody, but prisons are full of people of color, so it helps them out more than anybody.
Which is exactly what Popel is saying. As opposed to letting folks out, if you know people of color are the main victims getting locked up, why don't you pass some legislation so that the system is not so skewed against people of color? That would be more valuable than letting folks out.
Because honestly, the system, like I said last time, is skewed toward poor people. So
then do something about that. Then do something about that.
What's up?
Right, then do something about that.
I mean, then you're picking who's going to be rich and poor, which is Democrats was trying to do. That's what Democrats like to do. They like to pick who's rich and who's poor. But when you do that, then you got, you have an unfair system where the biggest victim, it's like you get basically DEI, where people who don't deserve to be rich become rich just because of their skin color or their, whatever makes them different, but whatever makes them a victim. Do we want to reward being a victim, or do you want to reward hard work?
Well, first of all, I want to make it clear. I think the DEI thing is bullshit. And I'll tell you why. I think DEI only became an issue when it started benefiting people of color. I may have had this conversation with you, but I don't know if I had it with you, but I certainly had it with other people. And the point I'm making is we've known throughout most of America's 250-year history, at least up until the Civil Rights Act, we knew for certain the next head of the park district was going to be a white dude. The next fire chief was going to be a white dude. The next general in the military was going to be a white dude. It didn't matter anything about merit at all. We knew the next person that had that position was going, because nobody else could get it. So the point I'm saying is we've always had DEI. They were getting positions that they never took any sort of what do you want to say, merit from women, Hispanics, Asian people. It didn't. You take the Tuskegee Airmen. They were excellent at what they did. They got out the military. They could not even be commercial airline pilots. Those jobs are going to white people. And those white men obviously were not as good flyers as they were. We've always had DEI. It only became a problem when it started benefiting people of color. But all of history, all the presidents are white. You don't think nobody else but those white men? There wasn't a woman, there wasn't a black person, there wasn't, nobody else could have been qualifying. So we've always had DEI. It's just we don't like it when it starts working for people of color.
Not really, since the white people were still the majority of the country. You know, the majority is white.
Even in black areas. Even in black MAGA. Even in southern cities, even in black areas, the politicians, the police chief, all of them were still white people.
I mean, we've had black mayors and...
You know what I'm saying, though. You're giving me the exception, not the rule. You know, even in predominantly black areas...
It's not the exception, because you're only 13% of the population. You know, I'm Egyptian. I don't expect an Egyptian president anytime soon.
Are you trying to convince me?
Like 60% of the population, maybe I'll agree with you. Or at least 13. I'm 0%, so I'm not expecting an Egyptian president. As 13%.
So you're trying to convince me that throughout most of America's history, white people were not given a leg up. It was just because there was more of them. They weren't given a leg up when it came to hiring at all. Did I lose you on that topic? Now he wants to. Now he's having trouble responding. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop. I can't believe he's trying to push that. I cannot believe he's even trying to suggest that they're just a majority. That's what happened. That's crazy. Blacks were banned from positions. They were banned from whole professions. Can't you believe somebody in the comments said that was dumb. Debating, let me go back to the box, already to the comment section. He is dancing around any questions with substance, says Gwen Hunter. I hate when they bring up DEI. This system literally caters to them. Yeah, I'm just simply saying for a fact that DEI for most of America's history existed in favor of white males, period. White males were guaranteed to get virtually all the managerial positions in this country, all of the political positions in this country. Not only did they get a leg up, in some cases, the other folks were banned from even applying. You couldn't even apply for it. So I don't even think it has nothing to do with the fact that whites were the majority. There were plenty of positions you couldn't even apply for. They wouldn't even let you fill out an application. So yeah, DEI has always been around. I don't know why all of a sudden once it started benefiting people of color, it became such a major issue. A conservative says, I'm confused, Tim. What does he mean person of color isn't white a color? You know what I mean. You know what he means. In this country, when they say a person is colored, that means everybody but white people. That's kind of what that means. It's us and then all of them. That's kind of the way things are set up in this country, is that the whites who set everything up, it's us. You either with us or you one of them. So everybody else was colored. Didn't matter what they were. They were considered a colored person. I'm getting real tired of handsome conservative. He's not funny, says Shanti. It is so easy for them to have a 400-year start free land, all the perks. That's what happens. That was MAGA who asked that question. Looking in the comments, I've had it with this constant lying. Says, I don't know what the name is there, but what was lied about? Say in the comments, state what the lie was. By the way, in regards to our poll, we're getting close to 100 votes. Was the Iran war necessary? It's a 30-70 split. 70% are saying no, 30% are saying yes. I believe that's real close to the actual voting public. 30% says no, the Iran war was not necessary. Or maybe 30% says yes, that war had to be done. 70% says no. About 30% of voters are MAGA. About 30% of voters are MAGA. Now, there are Republicans out there too. There are traditions like Marjorie Taylor Greene now, for instance, or Mitt Romney. Those are Republicans. They're not MAGA, but well, Marjorie Taylor Greene was MAGA up until very recent, but Mitt Romney never was MAGA. But he's not a liberal. So 30%, I believe that's about MAGA. That's mostly MAGA that are 30%. Go figure. That sounds like we're being discriminated against. How are you being discriminated against, Shanti, or better yet, conservative? Let me know. Let me go back to the comment section. Trump is a shitbag. Damn, that's a mean comment. I've had he ran an entire state into the ground. Why not give him the country? Gavin's campaign ad. Here's what I don't get. A lot of stuff that happened during Gavin Newsom's watch also happened during Arnold Schwarzenegger's watch. He was a Republican. California just has unique problems. California has, I don't know if California's been ran into the ground. I think California still has some of the wealthiest people in the country living in it. I've been at LA and places like that recently. I don't see Californians being ran into the ground. That's a real strong statement to make. To me, Louisiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, I think they're in much worse states than California. The only difference is because of the sheer amount of people in California and the amount of urban areas in California, you can see the problem more. It's spread out in Republican areas. It's more, in rural areas, the problem is spread out. You don't see hundreds of people laying together homeless or hundreds of people showing up to collect welfare because it ain't that many people in the areas, but they exist. I don't see California. You guys make it sound like California is the worst state in the union. I don't agree with that. People who talk down on California are mad they live in a shithole, says yikes. Generation X, I died laughing. We'll go back to the box. Bull Cali as fuck, says okay. Now I actually, look, when it comes to judging the metrics on what makes a state successful versus one that's fucked, as K-Dog is saying, you would have to realize a lot of Republican states are fucked up as well. You just don't talk about them. When you look at the median income for American citizens or the joblessness rates or the amount of use of drugs or criminality, there's a whole lot of Republican states that are fucked up. And a lot of that fucked up shit is happening in rural areas. It ain't all just happening in Democrat cities that you guys like to talk about. And I say this because you notice the right talks about how bad Democrat cities are, but they never celebrate any great Republican cities. They don't say you don't hear them talking about any great, well-ran Republican city or even Republican rural area. They don't brag about how, other than, let's say, the economy of Texas or Florida, most of the other Republican states, you don't hear them say nothing about that stuff. They'll attack California all damn day. They don't try to explain why West Virginia is so dirt poor. They don't try to talk about how bad life is in backwoods Louisiana or Mississippi. They don't say nothing about it. They just stick to California. But you're literally pointing out problems while having a lot of problems in your own backyard. That's the problem. There's a lot of Republican states that are not doing very well at all. People are dirt poor there. You're too busy focused on California to worry about problems you have in your own vicinity. Useless war to deflect from Epstein. That's what you believe that's what happened? You think we went to war to stop talking about Epstein? People are getting killed. Anyone that thinks Trump is not a racist is a racist themselves, says Christian. Damn. Yikes. Let me go back to the box. So try it with tossing if it brings it up. Anita Surley says, you agree also, huh? We went to war, I was told, because Iran was getting the nuclear bomb. You said we went to war because of Epstein? Do you, and Magariac says, do you include the Republicans who also ran? Yeah, like I said, until I hear the Republican Party starts bragging about how great their states are ran, I don't see a lot of credibility in talking about California. Mississippi is really fucking bad. When you gauge the metrics on what makes a state good or bad, education, lifespan, infant mortality rate, drug abuse, crime, Mississippi is terrible. But you hear them talking about California, Arkansas, so all of them Bible Belt states for the most part. California and Texas are probably the exception. And I think Georgia's starting to get better because so much is going on with Atlanta. But outside of that, all of that shit in between, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Louisiana, Arkansas, that shit's bad. When you look at the actual parameters, the happiness index, all that shit's bad. But you keep hammering California. Okay. I'm not defending California, but I'm saying that you're throwing a stone in a house full of glass. Nice try. You forgot about Minnesota. Minnesota's doing pretty damn well. Despite a few recent issues, George Floyd and with ICE. And by the way, ICE was manufactured. ICE was manufactured. Trump did not like Tim Walz, Ilhan Omar, even Mayor Fry of Minneapolis. And he literally decided to descend upon Minnesota with chaos. That was a manufactured issue. That didn't need to happen. In fact, the George Floyd shit didn't need to happen either. They should have arrested Derek Chauvin with literally the murder being televised on TV. But Minnesota is actually a fairly well-run state. The what I want to say, the GDP or the average income, because the cost of living in Minnesota is really high. The cost of living, the income for citizens, Minnesota's a pretty good state. Look, you can put anything bad about any state on it, but the people in Minnesota ain't broke. That state's actually doing pretty well. I'm in West Virginia. We had 70 years of Democrats who were rich, and the reasons I stated above. When is the last time the Democrats were in control in West Virginia? West Virginia's been red for a while. What are you talking about? I mean, and by the way, now that they've went red, are we bragging about how well they're doing? Have they gotten, you say 82 years of Democrats? I think folks need to realize there is a difference between progressive and conservative. Because when you talk about the Democrat Party used to be a conservative party. The Republican Party used to be a progressive party. Keep in mind, the Republican Party freed the slaves. That went against tradition. Freeing slaves is a progressive idea. Wanting to maintain slavery, which is what the Founding Fathers intended, is a conservative idea. The Democrats used to be conservatives. So when you're talking about 82 years of Democrats who are running West Virginia, the parties changed, but chances are the ideas did not. Conservatives are conservatives. Liberals, or better yet, progressives are progressives. So West Virginia has probably, for the most part, always been a conservative-minded state. They just now call themselves Republicans versus Democrats. But whether or not you want to agree with that, but like I said, understand freeing slavery is a progressive idea. That's not when you think about conservatives, you think about people who are traditionalists. Conservatives want the country to remain the way the Founding Fathers intended. They fight for tradition. That's why they're waving the flag, talking about the anthem, always bringing up the Constitution or talking about the Founding Fathers. The Democrats tend to want progression. That's why they're always pushing the envelope, saying things need to be amended or even fuck the Constitution in some cases, trying to change laws, talking about doing things that are different. So freeing slaves is a progressive idea. It's not conservative. The Republicans during the era of slavery were progressives. You don't have to agree with it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But it's true. In the comments, I'm not a Republican. Voted for Trump because he wasn't there for 50 years. I'm not a Republican. Voted for Trump because he wasn't there for 50 years, but he bowed to Israel like the rest did. Well, in addition, let's take the Iran war and Israel out of it. There's a whole lot of other things you voted for Trump for that he ain't doing either. This might just be the worst one you don't like with the Iran war. Trump made a bunch of campaign promises that he's not living up to. The only difference is if you support Trump, you've just been willing to keep forgiving all of that stuff because you think the liberals are worse. But most of Trump's campaign promises outside of the LGBTQ stuff and the border, he really hasn't met. Other than those two things, most of the other stuff that Trump campaigned on, he has not done very well. He has not did it. So keep that in mind. Because all you hear on the news and on platforms is how people in California can't afford to live. Yeah, because California is a big media outlet. But look, they're not bragging about how easy it is to live in most American states. That's just not happening. Let's try again to bring up a caller. Tosin, I tried to bring you up. I don't know what's going on, but your device is not letting me bring you up or something of that nature. The leaders were not conservatives, the voters were. Well, then that's the party then. That's the party. The Democrat Party was not, the Democrat Party was a conservative party back then. The Republican Party was progressives. Tosin, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What brings you up? What brings you on?
Thank you for bringing me up. I'm a big fan of your show.
Thank you.
I've been watching your show for over a year, and I just want to say you run a phenomenal show.
Appreciate that. Thank you. I hear an accent. Tell me more.
Yeah. I'm from Nigeria.
Oh.
I'm from Nigeria.
Are you?
Your show is.
Now, are you in the States or you're not? Are you in Nigeria?
Yes, I'm in Nigeria. Your show is international.
My show is international. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I appreciate you too.
I watch your show like every day.
Wow.
You run a great show, and I hope one day I'm able to run a show like yours.
Okay. Well, what time is it over there?
It's 1:20.
1:20 in the morning. Okay. So let me ask you, what is your sentiment toward the United States? I mean, are you a big fan of the good old U.S. of A?
I don't know much about the national politics in the United States, but I follow geopolitics somewhat, and so I can probably give like my 2 cents on Trump and the barbaric action and the terroristic action that the regime in Washington is carrying out all over the world.
What is your opinion on Trump?
I think Trump is not. I really appreciate the fact that he's able to speak his mind, because I feel like even both Democrats and Republicans, when it comes to like geopolitics, they have the same agenda. So Trump is only the person that he doesn't use any political language. He just he's able to speak what they speak behind the closed door. He's able to speak it openly,
So you're saying you appreciate Trump because he's a man that speaks his mind, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, I appreciate him because he's letting the world know that where they stand. That the only way to be a sovereign country is to get yourself some nuclear bomb, some atomic bomb, hydrogen bomb, and be able to build a big nuclear weapon. That's the only way that you can be
Does he sound like somebody? If he was running, does he sound like somebody you could vote for if he was running in your country?
No.
I thought you liked the man that speaks his mind.
Yeah, I don't like him, but I appreciate the fact because I appreciate someone that let me know where I stand than someone that.
Why don't you like him?
Oh, just because of what he's doing in Iran and doing in Gaza, committing genocide, like bombing children, killing babies.
Damn. Okay, so I thought you were going in. You were almost sounding like Black MAGA for a minute there, but you don't put up the wheels. Now I realize you're actually taking off. I thought you were about to come in for a landing there for a minute. Okay, so you think Trump is genocide, or you use genocide?
Yes. I mean, he even said in his he even admitted himself that he's going to take Iran back to the Stone Age. He's going to end their civilization. Like, that's a terroristic statement.
Wow. Oh man. So you guys do get a bunch of our. You said you follow geopolitics, so you do get a bunch. So what about him saying though that Iran should not have a nuclear bomb? Do you think that our attack in Iran was legitimate?
No, because I don't see any reason why Americans should have the monopoly on nuclear weapon. I mean, if Iran can't have it, then what gives Americans the right to have it? And the only country that has ever used nuclear weapon is America, and you also provided nuclear weapon to Iraq against Iran.
Yeah. So what you're saying is America should not have a monopoly on who can have a nuclear bomb. In the comments, somebody tomorrow sent asked you about the bombing that happened on Christmas morning. Did you have a terrorist attack there?
I mean, it's probably organized by CIA, and it's probably organized by CIA. Because whenever you have interest in another country, not you personally, but like American government, you plot your.
So there was a bombing in Nigeria on Christmas morning?
Probably. There was a bombing. Yeah, there was a bombing by. Oh, the bombing that Trump did. Yeah, there was a bombing. Yeah.
What do you mean Trump did? What are you talking about?
Yes, he bombed an area in Nigeria that he said there was a terrorist. On Christmas Day, last year.
Yeah, we were told you guys were mistreating Christians. I think I remember now we talking about it.
Oh, but I don't think that is true. I don't think that is true because we have our own issues. We have our own